Welcome inside another edition of the WPIAL Insider Show, presented to you by Edgar Snyder and Associates. There's never a fee unless they get money for you. Call 1-800-94-EDGAR today for your free consultation as we welcome you inside the Blast-Off Cleaning Equipment Studios, and always looking right by our friends at Home Team Collections as week number 9 is upon us.
We got Pine up on the docket here. Did they have a decent week?
Once again, talking before he's introduced is Carlo Zofko, the WPIAL Insider, and still on IR, potentially to return next week, as we've said for probably
a month last
7 weeks, is Brad Everett from the Pittsburgh Union Progress. But heal up, Brad. Our thoughts still with you. I am just Matt Fargo, hanging out on week number 9. What's new with you? Anything jump out off the page?
I don't think that there's anything to talk about this week in the WPIAL.
Don't think so.
Nothing
comes to mind.
The old insider going back to his old glory days of breaking news. I've missed the rush of breaking news, Matt, and we broke some big one today. And when I say we, I mean me, of course.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I went on my annual 24-hour disconnecting trip and came back this morning, and wow.
And all of Pittsburgh was in an uproar. You know, did some spots on KDKA TV, KDKA radio. Pretty much the WPIAL, in all of their knowledge, has decided not to broadcast on television WPIAL playoff games, including the 4A and 6A finals, which they didn't do the finals last year.
They haven't done it, and they have not done them in
I haven't done them in a couple years. The playoff thing just irks me the wrong way. I think, I break the news. People weren't happy.
Sure.
And, when I found the news from an undisclosed source, I wasn't happy. So public discourse, sometimes everybody agrees on one topic on social media. When do you ever see that? Never.
You don't.
And I don't think I saw one person agreeing with the WPIAL's decision there.
Yeah. I have a bunch of thoughts, a lot of them personal opinion, but I think for the greater good, sticking to the facts is probably the best way to approach this. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's not about the Steelers showcase or 20 to the point or KDKA's radio coverage. The reason why those entities do what they do, or they do it for the kids. None of those entities are benefiting largely from sponsorships or the monies that are changing hands to promote these student athletes. A lot of what is done is to be a part of the community.
Right.
That's why the WPIAL has the great coverage that it does. I can assure you, as you go down the long list, and there is a long list of entities that cover the WPIAL and do a great job of it. And maybe we don't give the others their flowers as much, but Trib Live High School Sports Network has done a great job throughout their existence back into the MSA days, a network that I was a part of for many years. You're talking about the Westmoreland High School Sports Network, the Lawrence County Sports Network.
Yep.
All of these individual high school sports networks that have popped up throughout time. So it's a great place to cover high school sports. And that is, I think, why you saw what you saw in the reaction that you saw from what you put out, is that people want to see it. And I understand that there's a business side of this, and that it always, sometimes businesses, which the WPIAL is, it's a nonprofit business, but still operates as such. I think sometimes they do things that all businesses do, things that don't necessarily make sense to the outside world. However, I think if you use fact-driven data, that there's a lot of topics that you and I, Brad, a lot of people in the WPIAL will discuss. And there's pros and cons. There's there's a good side and there's two sides.
Yeah.
Often to these stories, whether you talk about the transfer rules or you talk about classifications or whatever you're talking about, public versus private, there's pros and cons, and we can go ad nauseum constantly. Whereas this one, I just find it hard to pinpoint a true, this makes sense to not do.
I think it comes down to this, realistically. You know, I'm a WPIAL psycho. You know, I go back on YouTube and watch the old Fedco days. I watch all those old clips of WTA's Operation Football, and you just pan around the stands, and the stands are just packed, absolutely packed. And I think that the WPIAL sees that the stands aren't packed anymore. And why is that? Probably because they're broadcasting all the games. I think that's incorrect. You know, you look at the NFL, the NBA, all the major league sports kind of went through a period where, hey, access is here. People want it on demand now. We have to almost reinvent the wheel. How do we get fans back into the game? And look at the NFL's record-setting attendance numbers, NBA record-setting attendance numbers. That you figure it out, but taking away access to watch is not the way to go about it.
Yeah, to piggyback off of that point, I think, you know, there's a point of people and how they consume things has changed, especially after COVID.
Yes.
We all learned that we don't have to go out as much as we once did. And I also think that there was, you know, that generation that showed up to Friday Night Lights and went out to and just picked a random game. I remember growing up, and you just see like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 old guys that just, they all picked a game and they all went there. Well, it's not as easy to do that. One of the biggest things, I think, if we're having an open conversation about why attendance is down, it's certainly not because one game is on television of every single game in the playoffs.
Right.
That's not it. Again, using fact-driven data, you'd go back 3 years to the year that the games were not televised, the WPIAL championships were not televised at Acrisure Stadium / Heinz Field, and it had the worst attendance in that stadium's history in the WPIAL championship, the year it wasn't televised. So, I mean, I think that TV ends up being a good scapegoat, but I remind people that doing these games on TV is not free.
Correct.
Rights fees are designed to at least in some way
supplement the gate.
Supplement any loss of a potential gate.
Yes.
Now let's do a little bit of basic math here. Most of the WPIAL stadiums sit around 4, 5, 6,000 seats. There are pluses and minuses to that number, but that's kind of the general that number. And I could be maybe fudging that a little bit higher. It might be a little bit lower with all the smaller classification schools. But let's go with, say, 4. Knowing what we know on the television side, we average tens of thousands of people that are tuned in. So those stadiums would not have been built for 4 or 5,000. They would have been built for 10 or 15,000 if all of those people were showing up on Friday nights at any point and showing up in person. The number of people, I believe, that are going to watch versus going, I think community still loves showing up. I think they still love showing up for the bands, the community, the football game, high school football. There's a reason why you and I are at a game every night.
Correct.
And it's because that atmosphere is unlike any other level of football. And I think that also plays a big part into it of, you get this opportunity to showcase and expand the game beyond the people that have chosen to show up in person.
That is the best point. The media and the television broadcast alone. Think about all the superstars that television has created. Television creates hype. It creates drama. It creates intrigue. That encapsulates what high school football is. Hey, check out what this kid at Fort Cherry, Matt Sig, is doing. How many times is Matt Sig on television a year? Once or twice a year?
Yeah, he was on twice last year, which would have been the game that we did, the showcase game that
and
we
the WPIAL
did,
finals.
and the WPIAL final, and then
probably again point, this
He
way.
has one. So he's been on
People
television.
see him on television and they say, oh my God, I need to go see him in person. The same way that when I was in 7th grade and 8th grade, and you see all these amazing videos of Terrell Pryor running up and down the sidelines, I can remember skipping my 8th grade fall festival dance because me and the rest of the boys were like, this might be our last chance to go see Terrell Pryor.
Yeah.
And we went to the game to see Terrell Pryor. I was in 8th grade when that happened. But I can remember Terrell Pryor playing at Baldwin High School basketball. And I can remember, I'm a Baldwin guy. Everybody looking around, me and my brother said, okay, well, obviously we have to go see Terrell Pryor tonight.
Sure.
We don't do that if there's not video cameras around filming him and putting him on TV and publicizing these types of things. This is what television does. It creates drama, intrigue, and, taking it away, especially in, the playoff season. It makes. What's the greatest WPIAL play of all time, Matt?
I would say it's the Our Father hook and lateral.
Imagine if that wasn't on
WPIAL
television. That was the highest classification.
Correct.
The highest classification isn't going to be on television.
That's correct.
I mean, everybody has that moment like, hey, where were you when Cam Sadler caught the hook and ladder? You know? Everybody remembers. Nobody even remembers Gateway lost that game.
No, they just
everybody
remember that play.
remembers the play because it left such a sentiment and it tugged on everybody's heartstrings. Like, you're never down and out of this thing.
Yeah, and that's kind of the other part of this is like, this isn't some new phenomenon. The WPIAL was actually innovators in televising high school football.
Correct. They were way ahead of the curve
Way ahead
20,
of the curve.
30 years ago.
Right. I mean, you're talking about, you could go on YouTube right now and type in a WPIAL championship and Three River Stadium comes up.
Yeah.
I mean, but again, I go back to then and like, were we worried about the gate at Three River Stadium? Were we worried about, I just think that we're kind of worried about the wrong things.
Yes.
Of like, we should be worried about promoting the kids, giving the kids the opportunity to be showcased and seen in every light, in every way, especially in the world that we live in today about this text, tweet, YouTube world of everything you mentioned about everything being instantaneous. And I also think the true culprit of the lack of attendance is 6 classifications.
It very well could be. And I mean, we're not going away from that.
No. And I think the numbers support that. I mean, if the WPIAL is looking at 4 games at Acrisure and 2 games at another high school stadium, I've been at the games at Norwin, both when they were televised, called a couple of them. One I did color commentary. We don't talk about that game with Bob Pompiani. Couple others that I did sideline for the next year. I think it was like 16 and 17, something like that. They all run together. But that stadium was packed at Norwin for those games, and they were televised.
Last year, the Thomas Jefferson McKeesport game,
packed.
I was stunned.
Yes,
I was stunned. So I don't know. I don't understand it. The decision making is sometimes head scratching, and hearing from some people that may or may not have been at the desk when the WPIAL's making these decisions, and they're saying, yeah, I mean, this is the most head scratching of them all. I mean, that's the people I'm hearing from, right? And
the only thing that I want to say too on this is that being in criticizing a decision is not criticizing the league as a whole.
Correct.
And I think that that might have been misconstrued even from your your tweet,
no doubt,
this week, of you're doing it because you love the league and you want to see the league do its best. The NCAA goes through it. The NFL goes through it. Every league and association goes through people that are criticizing, but they oftentimes it's being done to better the league and make it the best that it can be.
Correct. And I'm not trying to poke at the WPIAL or get the WPIAL pissed off at me. I'm just reporting what I'm hearing, and I understand that this is 100%
The cat out of the bag
factual.
one was that was a little poking.
They were. I mean, I was getting text like, dude, they are absolutely furious that you let this thing out, and I'm like, I got it confirmed a couple different ways.
But here's my question though: wasn't it going to get out at some point?
That's my biggest thing is in 2 weeks, the playoffs will be on.
No, a week.
In 1 week, correct.
1 week.
The
Next
playoffs
week.
will be here on Friday nights, and there will be no games broadcast.
Correct.
KDKA Television does an interview with me, and they say, well, the WPIAL's saying you're incorrect. And I said, that's fine. The WPIAL can say I'm incorrect.
We only need to wait
next week.
to find
You're
out.
going to see there's no games on television, and people are asking to do the games. So that's the thing that I have the problem with is, and it's this, I kind of don't want to get into it, but it's the way that you frame something sometimes is very annoying. The WPIAL has come out and said, like, no, we are broadcasting every game. Correct, you are broadcasting it on NFHS Network, and I do like NFHS.
Yeah.
I think they do a great job, and I love the fact that I can go every single playoff game and click. I'm a WPIAL football junkie. I'm good with that.
But, I mean, I think
it's a different beast.
it's an apples to wrenches comparison
Correct.
in terms of being able to see one game from one camera, maybe no announcers.
Correct.
And having an 11-camera professional broadcast production.
It's complete apples to wrenches, 100%.
and obviously there's some bias there on our side because we care about it. And I mean, from just a personal standpoint of like last year, the Thomas Jefferson Aliquippa playoff game, that was our Emmy award winning submission.
Right.
That's how we won an Emmy last year.
Oh, you beat the Eagles. You beat Paul Skeen's debut of the Pirates, and who was the other one?
Phillies.
And the Phillies.
Yes.
So you beat 3 professional broadcasts. So yeah, I mean, if you go and you ask those players and those parents, hey, what made that so memorable? It's probably like, hey, those are TV games. I think back of my high school career, playing against Archbishop Wood on ESPN, the first game of my senior season. Yeah. I mean, I can remember every single play from that game because I went back and watched it a million different times.
Sure.
So
I mean,
it matters.
I go back to when I was doing the Panera Bread Bowl game of the week with Champ Sports Network, which was not on TV at the time, but we did a whole. This is kind of funny because we actually did the backwards, and it just popped in my head. The whole regular season was online. Charlie Batch and I were the broadcast play-by-play in color, and in the playoffs, we decided back then what is currently KDKA Plus. Irony here. Was then Pittsburgh CW. We bought the rights for the playoff games.
Oh, really?
And we did 3 playoff games. Now we did them, if I remember correctly, I think we did the first round live, and then the next 2 rounds we did tape delay.
Or tape delay, yeah.
Which I could say has been asked about. Like we have definitely explored that route. So I just think that, you get all of the heads into a room and say, you want what's best for the kids. You want what's best for the kids. You want what's best for the kids. We want what's best for the kids. Let's do what's best for the kids.
Correct.
And hopefully at some point we get to that point.
I won't hold my breath, but yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I think that in a way the tweets almost like applied a little bit of pressure. Would you say?
Yeah. I don't. Understatement of the year.
I still don't think we'll see playoffs on television.
No,
this
I
year.
don't either. And I mean, I think
But next year they're going to have a nice discussion about it. I can guarantee that. And that's what the media is meant for. The media is meant to do such as that. Hey, the public actually doesn't like this decision. Let's table it and see what we can do next.
Yeah, and the WPIAL just created a broadcast committee.
Yeah.
I don't know if this was a decision by them or not, but certainly I would be curious to get someone's take on that from the other side of the table that maybe, can enlighten us all on maybe there's something else. I think, the reasons that we have been given have been, attendance based.
Yeah.
But, I also think, from the league perspective, why not look at this as like a college league or a professional league of, hey, if you guys are going to broadcast, I mean, this is game here. I'm giving game away. If you guys are going to broadcast, we want, 10 commercials within your broadcast that our league sponsors get to benefit from. Yeah. So when then they're selling their league package, they're benefiting because they're saying, hey, we have affiliates, and like now everybody's winning.
Correct.
Everybody's in the game.
Correct.
But
yeah, I don't know.
I didn't go to college. I don't know. I'm not. Someone smarter than me could figure this out.
It's very. It just makes no sense, and I think the outrage on social media kind of almost put the ball in the WPIAL's court for next year. Like, hey, we probably need to discuss this at length because nobody agreed with our decision. So maybe we should ask about it again.
Yeah, and it kind of rolls into another story that came out just hours ago that Scott Seltzer, the executive director of the WPIAL, is going to resign.
Yeah.
And the COO, the chief operating officer of the WPIAL, Vince Sortino, will take his place. So a changing of the guard in almost opportune time.
Correct. Yeah, and you wonder what Vince will do next year. I don't know. I like Vince. I think he does a great job. I don't know. I hope that the WPIAL, they were innovative for a long time. I don't know. I feel like we're a little bit laggard with some things. I brought this up on the podcast before, especially with the new NIL rules regarding players transferring, whatnot. I understand there's two sides of every coin, and heck, most of the time I'm taking the WPIAL side on a lot of these things.
Sure.
But no, I think it should be interesting with Sortino taking over. I think it'll be good, hopefully.
Yeah, I think that certainly that there's, he's been in the WPIAL for a very long time, had a quick stint outside of the district on the other side of the state, but then came back and has an opportunity. I think
he really does.
He has an opportunity.
He really does.
Well, it will be interesting to see that. Let's talk about a couple other headlines. Why don't we? Let's talk games. Teams, good things, right?
Good things.
Things that we can talk about. How about Pine Richland and their historic 67-0 win over North Allegheny? Their worst loss ever in program history. And Carlo, I got to give a shout out to Nick Lucchini and Jamie Usual, our stats guys up in the booth for the TV game. We did this game as did you on the radio side.
Radio. Yep.
But we don't have, kind of going right back to the conversation we were just talking about, we don't have a cast of thousands like ESPN does with, research and develop people and all these R&R people and all that. We have Jamie and Luch and two great assistant high school basketball coaches at Olsh, by the way. And Jamie and Luch were able to figure out in real time that the worst loss for North Allegheny prior to last Friday night was the 48-0 loss to McKeesport in 2004.
Whew.
And I just give a little salute to Luch on that one.
That was pre-Art Walker too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really impressive to kind of dial up.
How do you even go back to find that? I mean, you had to have NA's like media guide or something.
He was on his phone and crunching the numbers. And
who has a great media guide is Bell Vernon. Very historical.
Bell Vernon, Blackhawk also very
Oh, really?
good.
Yeah,
Yes.
I love programs like that.
Me too.
But to have that instantly, that's great for the broadcast.
It was great to be able to throw that in real time. I felt like a big time.
John Fedko told me, and John Fedko told me that he's going to come on the podcast as a guest. So we're very looking forward to John. I've been in talks with him. We're going to try to get him for the playoffs. John Fedko was talking to me. He said he's been covering high school football for 40 years, and this is the most shocking score in his high school football history. And I said, I don't think that you're incorrect there, pal. I mean, nobody had this on their bingo card. You thought I was crazy. I said Pine by like 28 or something.
Yeah, you did.
And you were like, you're crazy. And then as I got to the game day, I'm like, man, I am. I was like, yeah, this isn't looking good for my prediction. I see NA coming off the bus. I see them warming up. I'm like, man, they are
just
big.
doing the common opponent thing of like lost by 14 to Central, lost by 15 to Central.
Yeah.
This should be a good game. They're both 7-1. Now, given NA, kind of looking back in hindsight, a lot of close wins. They were winning some
they
games
should
by
have 4 or
the
5
skin.
losses.
Yeah.
And, I've been banging this drum since the preseason. I said NA's in a rebuild year. They're starting a bunch of sophomores. A bunch of people called me an idiot, and then I kind of look like an idiot as they keep winning. But, I mean, you look at the Woody High game. Woody High had a 20-point lead and kind of blew that. You look at the Norwin game, they had a double-digit lead and blew it. And, I mean, even like the Cannon Mac game, Cannon Mac was in that thing.
Sure.
They were settling for field goals, not getting touchdowns. That would have been the difference of that game.
Would have been.
NA probably should have a couple more losses, but once again, that's credit to Art Walker and his coaching staff. They always outlasted their opponents. They always got to the fourth quarter and then beat them. and even Central Catholic. I mean, they kept it close, and I'm like,
Yeah, Art's been a tactician.
Correct. And I think, I don't know if this was a bad game plan or what, but it was just like Pine Richland was firing on all. So this was the Pine that I thought preseason. I said this might be the best team in 10 years in the WIPY last 10 years.
And now they're kind of right back.
Yeah,
into
now
that
they're looking
conversation.
like it.
Well, and if you didn't see the game, it was a series of unfortunate events for North Allegheny. NA goes down and scores, Pine goes down and scores. NA turns the ball over inside their own red zone. They score again. Then NA gets the ball back. They turn it over again. Pine scores again. And the next thing you know, you look up and it's 28-0.
Yeah,
it was 31-0 at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, it was 28-0, and everybody was like, you could hear like the NA sideline, like a pin drop over there. Like, what the hell just happened? And sometimes that can just deflate a team, and that be that.
To the Fedco point you made, this was the most lopsided game that I've ever done when both teams are expected to be good.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, I did an Olsh season back in the day where they lost every game. Yeah. And I think 8 of the 9 were by mercy roll.
Oh, really?
So me and Al Les, shout out to Al.
The anti-mercy boys.
Yeah, and they were quite literally. It was right before Dan Bradley got there, by the way. Dr. Dan
revived it.
Yeah, he did. But the true game of two teams that were very good and that it was lined up to be a great game and ended up being a blowout was back in 2019. I was calling games for the Pickle back then, 92-1, and it was a 45-6 beatdown. Central Valley beat Aliquippa.
I remember that. It was at Aliquippa.
It was at the pit.
It was at the pit. I remember that.
The exact same thing was happening where we were at the pit and like the PA announcers looking at me like, I don't even know what to say. This never happened before.
Yeah.
Like, and it was just, it had that same feeling on Friday, given it had it been at North Allegheny, it would have been a whole different, you know, when you go into somebody else's play and lay the whooping on like that.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah, at least Pine was home.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were doing the research on that game. That was like Aliquippa's worst loss ever at home.
Really?
So kind of a similar beast. But yeah, it doesn't happen very often when you get those teams that are premier. However, it did happen again last Friday.
With?
Elizabeth Ford and Southmoreland.
Oh, yeah. That was Southmoreland was undefeated.
Correct.
Undefeated. And Elizabeth Ford, you know, they have one loss to South Fayette.
They had one loss to South Fayette.
And they probably should have won that game, honestly. And yeah, I mean, EF just kind of telling everybody, we're up there with the big dogs in 3A.
Right.
And, you know, EF, they're kind of in that weird conference. Like, the problem is Avonworth's conference is unbelievable.
Yeah. Yes.
It might be, I get it, the Allegheny 6 and 5A is probably number 1. This 3A conference is probably number 2 with Central Valley, Beaver, and Hopewell,
North Catholic.
And North Catholic. Yeah, it's a really good, good conference. But yeah, I think EF is just kind of just laying in the weeds a little bit, hoping people forget about them. I wouldn't want to pull the 2 seed if EF's the 3 seed. You have to face them and then get into the WPIAL finals. That's going to be tough.
It is going to be tough, especially I think the parity in that class is pretty good.
Speaking of parity, how about the Moon Tigers? And speaking of the Allegheny 6,
you know,
beating Upper St. Clair.
Yeah. Double OT.
Little
revenge for 2 years ago.
Yeah.
When St. Clair did that to them in double OT at USC's place. We had that game, by the way.
Yeah.
That was also an Emmy winner.
Yeah, that was the first down.
It was. First down.
The 103 total yards for Upper St. Clair. This Moon defense is fine. And this is, remember a couple of weeks ago we said Moon has been a little bit disappointing this year.
It has.
Ever since we said that, they have just been firing on all cylinders.
Hold my Gatorade and watch me.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, that's what they've been doing.
What, though? And I was thinking about this. Does it have a little bit something to do with the fact that Ryan Lynn pretty much uprooted his whole offensive system?
I think 100% had to do with it. I think like 100%.
You go from like just grounded pan Western Pennsylvania football to let's throw the ball around a little bit here.
Yeah, and
now given their offense hasn't blown anyone off the page, there were
but they've been good
touchdowns.
Enough. Yeah.
There was a lot of field goals in that
game. It was. I did it on my highlight show. It was just back and forth. I had to show all the field goals. It was just back and forth field goals. And the most remarkable moment of the game.
Scoreless until the third?
No. They had a couple in the first half.
Okay, all right.
Or maybe it was scoreless until the third.
I thought it was scoreless
Yeah.
in the third.
The most remarkable moment of
I
the
watched
game.
your highlight show,
It
by the
was.
way.
Oh, thank you. It was 3rd down and 38, and
Oh my gosh.
Upper St. Clair punted. It was a pooch punt with Hellman, and Moon didn't know what to do. You know, the DB was back in coverage. It was 3rd down.
Right.
So he went to field it, and he dropped it, and Upper St. Clair recovered it
Oh,
and scored.
my.
So it's like that game might not even go into overtime if not for that wild turn of events right there. Corey got in the end zone from there. But I think one of the major keys there was the front seven of Moon was getting home, and it was kind of led by Davion Taylor and Jared Moyer. Those two coming off the edge.
Yep.
They're sick.
Yeah.
They're really sick. And, you know, you look at my WPIAL top prospect list, there's 4 Moon defensive backs on it. And I'm not saying that they're all D1. That it all pretty much means they're going to play somewhere at the next level.
Yep.
And when you have guys that are going to play at the next level, I mean, it was just like air traffic control.
Yeah.
Nobody could get open, and then Miles Turner picks off Ethan Hellman in the end zone to end the game. It was just a walk-off. And, I mean, it was remarkable. It really was remarkable. And Moon is starting to become a complete team.
Yeah, and they did a lot for their seeding purposes, did they not? I mean, you beat
big
Bethel,
time.
you beat USC.
Do they jump? Now, here's the question, though. Did they just knock USC way back, or did they jump people? If you remember, Moon lost to Penn Trafford earlier this year.
Yes, I have not forgotten about that, but it was by a point.
By a point.
And early in the season.
But PT hasn't lost anybody but Woody High.
Yes. Oh, are you talking about Peters versus Moon?
Or I'm sorry. I'm talking about Penn Trafford.
Oh, Penn Trafford. Yes.
Penn Trafford
also has a lot. Yeah. So I don't think that's a terrible loss early in the season.
But
for
I'm
Moon.
saying I don't know if Moon necessarily rose up the rankings. I don't think the committee will put them above Penn Trafford. So if you're talking top 4 seeds,
And put Moon at 5.
probably put Moon at 5. Yeah. So I think they
But
only
they
went
gotta
from
be-
6 to 5.
Yeah, but I think the difference between 5 and 6
Pretty significant.
You could
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
you
Pretty
can make a
significant.
path in 5
Correct.
more so.
I agree.
I mean, obviously it's not catastrophic by any stretch, and I think Upper St. Clair's a great football team too. But now I'm starting to think, you know, Moon lost to Peters by 10.
By 10. And Penn Trafford by 1.
By Penn Trafford by 1. So, like, is it Pine and Peters and everybody else still?
I don't know. Woodland Hills has been quiet.
Yeah, they haven't.
Gateway almost beat them, by the way.
That's what I'm saying.
I know that
they just haven't done it for me.
I
yet.
know that
Scoop
Woody
does
High
it for
ended
me.
up winning by like 24. Gateway was in the lead
Yes.
late into that game.
Right.
Yeah. Scoop's unbelievable. Yeah. Don't get me wrong there, but
like I just don't know if they have. Like I look at a Peters Township team with DeLucia and
yeah,
Lehman and like
Shanafelt.
I mean, come on.
It's dude upon dude.
Yeah, and then don't get me started about Pine.
Yeah.
Because
Pine on paper is sick, and then on the ask North Allegheny how they are on the field.
I mean, Ubi, I feel like has developed into I mean, if he was a little bit taller, he could just name where he wants to go. And his balls are so pretty.
Yeah, they do spin tight.
Oh
they do spin
gosh.
tight. Yeah.
I mean, nice when you're throwing to Timmons and Taylor and you know,
Heck, even Jalen Niels was throwing touchdowns.
Right, yes, exactly. Yeah, and I apologize to Neil when I said it on the broadcast. It was underthrown, which it was.
It was underthrown, but Timmons made a heck of a play.
Timmons should have been on You Got Moss this weekend for that catch. Hey, mind I give a shout out before we get into Hot and Not?
Yeah, and I have one more for you. A quick one.
Well, you go first then.
All right, real quick. I just wanted to give a big headline shout out. Shar Houston, the Buccaneers.
Funny enough.
Stun Cornell. They secure a spot in the playoffs. They're 6-3.
Yep.
A roaring comeback. They were down 26-7. Aaron Walsh on the final play of the game. It's like a 26-yard touchdown pass, rolling around and finding his receiver in the back of the end zone.
Yes.
Remarkable. Just wanted to get, I mean, that had to make a headline. It was one of my favorite games I've watched.
Well,
this year.
ironically, part of this will loop right into yours.
Oh, here we go.
So shout out to Charlie Batch, Swin Cash, Sean Casey, among the nominees and newest members of the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame.
Nice.
Was at the banquet last Saturday to support my guy, Charlie Batch. Him and I go way back when. And
Oh yeah, you guys are day ones.
yeah. I mean, quite literally. I don't know why I was a 14-year-old kid, I think, when I met him, and he was like, well,
Yeah, I'll help you, kid.
Yeah, can you come on my broadcast show? And he's like, yeah, here's my number. And I'm like, what?
Just shows the type of dude he
really
is, though.
I mean, just salt of the earth type of guy, and so deserving of the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame. A lot of you, of course, know him for what he did with the Pittsburgh Steelers and winning some Super Bowl rings, but was also a second round draft pick by the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
And
Eastern Michigan Eagle.
Eastern Michigan Eagle, also part of their Hall of Fame. And my favorite story about Charlie when he first started with the Lions, his first handoff in his career is to Barry Sanders.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And the plays designed for him to hand it off and boot away. And he hands it off, and he just watches Barry. And coach is yelling, "Boot away! Boot away! Boot away!"
I mean, you don't get a chance to watch Barry Sanders.
Run. I mean, how can you watch it up close? One of my favorite Charlie Batch stories. Congrats to Charlie. He's a WPIAL Hall of Famer as well.
Yeah.
So always good to see. Well, at the end of this banquet, I get approached by two Chartiers Houston parents, one of which is the son of the touchdown recipient.
No way.
Yes.
You're kidding me.
I was not.
That is really cool.
Yeah. So they were just all excited. And of course, they were excited about their win against Cornell. And I knew already what had happened. I keep my cousin gives synopsis every Friday night of their game. He was not a happy camper on that one. He was bopping around the sidelines at halftime.
Well, you would have been very, very upset at me on the highlight show. Because how I do my highlight show, my reads, I kind of like to do it like Chris Berman, where I just run through every single game.
Yeah.
And it's almost like the fastest 3 minutes a little bit. Mm-hmm. And when Char Houston came up, and I know that they're the Buccaneers. Like, I've known this for 10 years. And when I was like, and it just, I saw their logo. It didn't come to me. I said, "Didn't Char Houston" with the upset, but I wanted to say the Buccaneers of Char Houston. And the only thing, it almost kind of threw me off my loop. I was like, Matt would be so upset at me. So upset at me. But
Char Houston.
Yeah. So shout out to Char Houston, the Buccaneers.
And some fans down there. The two guys that came up to me said nothing but good things. They loved watching the podcast,
and that's why we do it.
And
that's
had really nice things to say about Matt Sig. That their boys played travel baseball with him. And
nice.
Were familiar with Matt and the family. And it's always hey, if you do see me out and about or Carlo, I would imagine, don't hesitate to come up. I love talking WPIAL football.
I could talk WPIAL ball all day long. Yeah, that's
pretty cool.
It's honestly a problem of mine. Like if I'm out about somewhere and somebody is like, "Oh, I'm from so-and-so." I'm like, "Oh, the so-and-so, they just won. The Chargers just won." They're like, "Yeah, how did you know that?" I said, "Yeah, I'm a weirdo."
Yeah.
Like, don't worry about it.
My like favorite when I meet somebody and I'm like, "Oh, are you from here?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I say, "Where did you go to high school?" And they're like, "Charleroi." And I'm like, "Oh, the Cougars." And they're like,
"Psycho.
How do you know that?" So it's always fun. A little quick hot or not?
Yeah, let's do a quick hot and not.
Quick hot and not up against the break. So we're being told by our very handsome producer back there.
He's giving us the signal.
Yep. Hot, I'm going Tyler Eber. 10 TDs in 2 weeks. This kid's going back to last season form at the right time for Bill Chirpak's Jaguars. 2 weeks ago, he carried the ball 38 times, 279, scored 6 TDs against Ringgold. And last week, 41 carries, 334 yards, scored 4 more touchdowns.
Some idiot picked them to lose, by the way.
Who would do that? Who would do that? I'm just out here on my island.
I will say for Tyler Eber, kind of going through the WPIAL stats, I ranked him as my number 2 running back in the WPIAL this year. Spell, obviously, number 1. And I was going through some stats the other week, and I'm like, man, I might have to drop Eber a little bit on my postseason rankings. Thought he'd be doing a little bit more. Not that he would drop out of the ranks or anything, but I was like, he was 2, maybe like 7 now.
Yeah.
The last 2 weeks, I'm like, he's
back.
This is the guy. This is the guy that was number 2. So yeah, he's scorching hot.
I'm not to criticize our following or viewers, but like from a coaching's perspective, how difficult is it for a running back in high school to get 40 carries a week?
Oh, yeah.
And what that means to your body.
Oh, yeah. He's and TJ's been banged up.
Yeah.
They've been banged up, and they're finally getting healthy. It's almost a little bit scary.
Yeah, all the running backs in 4A are starting to get healthy.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
That's going to be fun playoffs. You're hot.
My hot. The Clarendon defense. You know, you hear how great this defense is last year. They bring a lot of guys back. First game of the season, you guys had them against Amani, and Amani's kind of a different beast. They did play up 2 levels against the number 1 team or number 2 team in 3A. Defense only let up 20-some points. 7 straight shutouts. That's pretty good. And, they're firing on all cylinders. So I'm going to say the defense, scorching hot. That's who's hot.
We both chose to not have a knot.
I do have a little bit of a knot.
Have a knot.
I do have a knot.
I no longer want to be negative, so no more knots this week.
I got a quick knot just because it affects playoff implications. And I want to give a shout out to my Fraser Commodores. Got a nice message from their coach this week. Greensburg Central Catholic is my knot. They lost 3 of their last 4, including to Fraser and Riverview. They need to beat Leechburg to have a shot at the playoffs. And the reason they're my knot is I think I had them at number 3 preseason. So that's rough. I would love to see Samir Crosby and the gang be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But beating Leechburg's a problem right now. So that's going to be a very, very good game. But hopefully Greensburg somehow gets in. But right now, Riverview, I mean, that was a monster win. And Fraser, I think Fraser's going to get in the dance.
I think they can.
Which is really cool. Derek Diamond and their quarterback, who his name is escaping me right now.
Not Buccaneers.
It's hard having 500 names in your head.
It really is.
But
some coaches don't know their own players' names.
But this Fraser quarterback, I mean, he can throw this thing all about the yard. So I wouldn't hate the Commodores getting in the playoffs, but that's my hot and not there.
All right, up against the break. When we come back, we're going to play a little bit of Wild Card Selection Committee. We're going to give up some teams and say who is going to be in, who is going to be out of the WPIAL playoffs, and a lot more to come on this edition of the WPIAL Insider Show, presented to you by Edgar Steiner and Associates. We'll be back.
Some moments on the field go beyond the game. They shape who we become. At Home Team Collections, we honor those moments with the care and craftsmanship they deserve. Because these moments aren't just memories, they're a legacy worth preserving. Any team, any sport, any logo. Visit HomeTeamCollections.com today and save $10 off your first order.
You spend your life on the field, in the gym, or on the court. You know what it means to be part of a team, to push for a goal, and to chase a win. What if you could take that same drive and turn it into a high-paying career? BeeMac Logistics is looking for people just like you for their Beaver and North Shore Pittsburgh office locations. BeeMac is a top 100 freight brokerage in the U.S., and they know what the best athletes make to make the best sales professionals. Why? Because you're already wired for success. You're competitive, you know how to work with a team, and you're not afraid of rolling up your sleeves and putting in that hard work to get the ultimate reward. At BeeMac Logistics, you'll join a high-energy team as an inside sales representative. It doesn't matter if you're fresh out of high school, college, or already have some experience. BeeMac Logistics will give you the training and the support you need to succeed. If you have that natural hunger to win, you could be earning a six-figure salary within the first 15 to 18 months. Ready to take your competitive spirit to the next game, to the next rewarding career? Join the swarm at BeeMac Logistics and apply today. Thanks for BeeMac Logistics for sponsoring the WPIAL Insider Show.
Players, are you lacking confidence or feeling nervous when it's time to perform? Struggling to stay focused under pressure? Coaches, are you feeling overwhelmed and stressed? Battling decision fatigue as the season heats up? Does this sound like you? Don't leave your mental game to chance this season. At Edge 90, we've teamed up with WPIAL Insider this season to bring you mental skills training that will give you the edge when it counts. Whether you're a player looking to boost your confidence and composure, or a coach aiming to sharpen your team's mental resilience and deal with stress, they have the tools you need. Their services include team workshops, which will strengthen team culture and build a mental skill set together. One-on-one training, that's personalized sessions to elevate your mental game. They even have virtual courses. Convenient training you can access anytime, anywhere. Use my promo code Mr. Insider for 10% off any service. Visit edge90.com to learn more and follow them on social media at VT_edge90. They have free tips. Ask Vince any question you want on social media. Don't just play the game, prepare. Hit that follow button. That's at VTD_edge90.
Black Bear Fundraising, in partnership with Vertical Raise Donation Platform, is proud to sponsor the WPIAL Insider Show, Player and Coach of the Week Award. For over 25 years, we've been helping teams and groups raise the funds they need. From our premium discount cards to the Vertical Raise online platform, we've helped hundreds of programs raise millions of dollars. And just this year, we worked with Peters Township Football, helping them raise over $55,000 for their program. If you're looking for the best fundraising solution in the tri-state area, reach out to us today. Black Bear Fundraising and Vertical Raise Pittsburgh, the official fundraising partners of the WPIAL Insider Show.
All right, welcome back to the WPIAL Insider Show, and we have a reoccurring guest. That's right, BeeMac Logistics' own Chuck Kozniewski. Chuck, what's going on? Welcome back to the show, my friend.
Carlo, thanks for having me back here this year. Reoccurring, I don't know if this is second or third or whatnot, but it's always good to be back here. A good man, and appreciate the opportunity to join you.
No problem. We appreciate you guys always being a willing sponsor to the WPIAL Insider Show. And we've been having a great time on the podcast, and with your guys' support like that, we really do appreciate it. Now, for the people that don't know Chuck, this is his first time back this year. Chuck, you actually are a head coach at RMU's Club Golf, correct?
Correct. Yep. I coached the I'm 8 years now. It's semesters and COVID throws me off, but I've been coaching at RMU, their club golf team, for a lot of years now. Yeah.
I love it. So we'll get into a couple of sports questions with Chuck, but what exactly do you do at BeeMac Logistics? Tell the audience if they don't know, first time seeing you.
Sure. So I'm the Senior Vice President of Talent and Culture at BeeMac Logistics. And really what that means, Carlo, is I'm in charge of all the recruiting, training, marketing, and HR functions of the company. So all of that comes under my wing. And we figured we would have a good partnership because we have found a lot of success in our company, as a freight brokerage, as a sales organization. We have found a lot of success in partnering with those involved in sports and athletics. Those that get into sales oftentimes have those kind of traits that athletes and competitors have. There's a great crossover, and I've always been the kind of guy, Carlo, that really believes that sales is in here. Yes. So it just seemed to be kind of natural. I know you also have some friends that work within our organization, and on our executive team we have a lot of kids that are interested in your show, and certainly interested in amateur sports and middle school and high school, et cetera, et cetera. So it's always been great. Always appreciate you welcoming us and having us here and giving me the chance to say hey to you every now and again.
No problem. Now talk about just from the BeeMac standpoint.
Sure.
I mean, what do you think high school football and high school sports in general, how do you think that plays in developing skills that go beyond the field, like leadership and teamwork, and why it's so critical to have those skills as you transition into your work life?
Yeah, well, look, you figure when it comes to sports for for guys and girls of all ages, hobbies are the things that we love, right? I would suggest that if you were to poll most, we'll just pick high school students, and if you were to ask them, do they enjoy being in the classroom or out on the field? More of them are going to tell you that they're going to like being out on the field, right?
No
There's
doubt.
things that we love and enjoy, and so since when you're invested in something that you love and enjoy, you tend to take more from it. And so it makes it so valuable as to what we teach through sports and what we teach, and not just sports, right? Activities and clubs and organizations of all type, right? And just you and I naturally just resonate with the things that we enjoy most. So I think that's why it is so important that whether you are as a player, as a participant, as parents of the participants, as coaches in the
Mhm.
sports. That everybody plays a role in helping to build one another. And these are great places to learn teamwork and responsibility. I mean, it's really what it's all about. I mean,
Right.
I mean,
It's a sense of family almost.
it really is. It's in many cases is it should be, and nothing's 100%, but I would suggest in the vast majority, it goes beyond wins and losses,
Right.
which are obviously which are important, which build character and navigating great times, great teams doing very well, but even building greater characters, the teams that struggle, the teams that don't do well, the
Right.
teams that
Backs up
are.
against the wall, right?
Yes, back is up against the wall. Maybe they're getting blown out. Like, think of that. How do you maintain your focus? How do you keep somebody's attention? How do you try to tell a team of players that no matter what the odds are, that you need to stay invested and give it every single thing that you have, even if the score's 10-0, right?
Right.
That's not an easy thing to do. And so those are the kind of things I think that you should be taught, and those are the kind of things we should expect participants to take from amateur sports of all different types.
Now you bring up an excellent point there. It's about how do you handle adversity? What are you going to do when your back's up against the wall? Now, a big talking point, really has become a national talking point amongst high school sports. It's on the cover of Max Preps, on the cover of Rivals.com. A lot of WPIAL teams, I shouldn't say a lot of WPIAL teams, some select WPIAL teams are actually, their ADs are emailing their opponent ADs saying, hey, we're asking for mercy. You guys are probably going to murder us 60-0. Can you play your JV players early? Some are just canceling the game straight up. What do you think that builds? How do you build character? Now, these are kids that some of them are 17, 18 years old. They're going to be in the workforce in, 8 months' time. Is that not just odd? Or do you see that as, from a talent and recruiting guy at BeeMac, do you see a difference in kids nowadays from 10 years ago? Or am I just crazy?
Well, no, I feel like we probably all think as time goes by, things were different yesteryear, right? And it
Yeah.
was, and things were probably different, right? I mean, like, it was a different time, and what was unbelievable at the time is probably just different today, right? We have our own sense of what unbelievable is.
Right.
But but I appreciate your question. I understand exactly what you mean by asking. I mean, yeah, I think personally, I mean, I have to wonder, and my hope is in these cases that you're talking about, my hope in these cases that these are the exceptions and not the rule. My hope
Yeah.
is
I would
these
agree
are,
with that.
I mean, you hope, right? I mean, if that's our hope. I have to wonder when you let them be like, okay, it makes no sense to me that somebody would think this. Somebody's involved, overseas, all these athletics have to be understand the spirit of competition, and you have to wonder. I wonder, like, I think, like, the person themselves, like, are they being completely pressured? Like, why have they gotten to the point where they're basically saying, hey, go easy on us? Like, I wonder if there's something, personal, a reason for that. Like, because I can't imagine how somebody who is in that kind of a role, that would understand the spirit of competition, that would understand that you can probably learn more out of, not probably, you can and most
I would
likely
agree.
will learn more out of your challenges and your struggles than you ever will when it's easily handed to you. I have to hope that the ones that we hear about make the news headlines, and it's not the standard. So that's my hope. We probably agree with each other on this easily. I mean, no doubt. It just, I think we definitely have seen it, from a culture where there was a period of time back, and maybe it was the Greatest Generation, right, when so many families didn't have a lot. Everybody struggled. We got to a point where families and the struggle became less and less, and that entitlement started to come in more and more. And we live in a culture, like it or not, for better for worse, has a lot of entitlement. And I think all the thing that you're talking about, all it really helps to do is just perpetuate that kind of entitlement. Hey, if I'm losing, somebody will take it easy on me. It won't be so bad. You're not in this because we want to see kids feel terrible or whatnot, but it's our job as coaches, as our leaders, or as ADs to help say, look, we're going to learn something through this process. You're going to learn something. Again, to me, it's all about how as tough as it is, how do you not give up? How do you train yourself or help to train yourself to get through those challenging times, no matter how difficult it may be? Can I give you one analogy that this is just sticking out in my mind? I, for years, have done ring announcing. I don't know if you know this. You and I know have chatted offline. Ring announcing for professional wrestling, mixed martial. I still to this day do it. There's a show years ago when it was out in the Cleveland area. And there literally were 6 people in the audience. 6 people in the audience. Now it was unfortunately the promoter did a terrible job. Now I don't know if you can imagine or not, but you've got at least 20 plus wrestlers who are on hand to put on matches. Myself, you've got this, relatively speaking, not WWE, but relatively speaking to 6 people, this big production. And all that we knew as professionals was we have 6 people. I don't care if there's 660, 600, or 6,000. Like, as hard as it was for me to go into that ring, to be the announcer, to bring up the energy, like, I had to do it. Yeah. I had to work through that because I'm a pro. I didn't do it because, oh, look at me, I'm somebody special. I'm not saying it because of that. It's just the mindset through that struggle. It was painful, Carlo. I mean, it's painful because you're deflated. It's hard to bring that, but you figure these people did what they were supposed to do. There were 6 people, and I remember in particular, and then I'll stop so you can interject. But I'll never forget. In particular, I saw a grandfather and his grandson, and I can picture. And this is a lot of years ago. My friends, maybe 20 years ago, and I can picture them like it was yesterday, and I could see them at level, and I just thought. They came, they sat, they wanted to be entertained.
They came for a show.
They paid for a show. I got to give it to them. And I feel like, and again, I'm sorry, my brain made that analogy, but I just feel like you got to teach, you got to work through that. And no matter where you're at, you want to give up or quit or go home or call it quits early because it feels better. No, work yourself through it because life doesn't always just say, hey, it's easy. Just go home. So anyway, sorry to make that analogy.
No,
that I can't help.
That's a great analogy because it's like, hey, at the end of the day, these kids signed up to play and compete, and there were a lot of parents. A lot of the ADs were asking for a shortened clock, shorten this. There are a lot of senior parents that are saying, hey, our team isn't making it into the playoffs. You asked to shorten the clock. That's 12 more minutes that I don't get to see my son's final year of football. So I think I understand that analogy perfectly, and it makes total sense. Now, as a head coach at RMU Club Golf there, have you ever gone into a match where you're like, hey, guys, we are kind of outmatched here? How do you even go into that mindset? Like, I know being in football when I was at Duquesne, we played Buffalo, we played Youngstown State. It was a big payday game. But, we kind of knew going in, like, hey, guys, we're going to kind of deflate the ball a little bit. We're going to run the clock a little bit, but we're not backing down. We're going to give it our all. And, against Buffalo, we actually almost did upset them. Now, Youngstown State used to beat us by 60, but I remember the Buffalo score would have been our first FBS win ever, and we thought we were going to get killed by 70. But it's one of those things where it's like you just never know what happens. Going into a golf match, what's the mindset there? Have you ever been matched up against like a major program? You're like, probably not looking great, fellas.
Carlo, yeah, I can speak for the past several seasons. When I'm about 8 seasons, as I said to you, or I shouldn't say 8 academic years, which is basically like 16 seasons because we have a fall and a spring semester. But I've been fortunate up front. When I joined with RMU and the club golf team, and I apologize not knowing the number off by hand, but we made at least 7 to 8 total national tournament appearances.
Yeah.
Played very well. I had a lot of great talent. I had adopted great talent when I came in. And we maintained very well over the past several seasons though, Carlo. I lost a lot of talent. And Carlo, golf is a tough sport because, when you play a lot of sports, and again, everything's within reason when I say this, but when you play a lot of sports, you really can, with the matter of like 1 or 2 points, you can have an underdog, conceivably score an upset. It can happen. Golf is a little different. Golf is different because of the makeup of how, trying to get, when you have very good golfers versus collectively not, or I should say lower handicap golfers versus higher handicap golfers, right? It's very improbable, very, very improbable that you're going to have, because even if a player or two strikes lightning in a bottle, the chances of that happening like 2 days in a row in a 2-day tournament,
right,
like are almost non-existent. So to your point, the past several years now has been almost devoted to how can we still learn something from this, get something out of it. For me, it becomes small wins. I've always told my team this. I cannot guarantee numbers, which of course equates to scores. I cannot guarantee, and of course, nor can they, results. All I can guarantee is that we're going to do the best that we can collectively to be the best team that is out there, to be the best prepared to be out there. And so I want the players, again, this is all a timely topic, right?
You're looking for little wins and to think
little
things to
wins,
keep stacking. Yeah.
100%. Because I don't have it in me. I mean, I've played a lot of golf matches, and I don't have it in me to quit or just give up and
just mail it in one way or the other. Right.
I want these guys to fight to the very end. I want them to not give up to the very end. And large in part because to me, it's not about golf, right? It's about your life. It's about your work. It's about your relationships. It's about, if relationships are work.
Yeah.
Relationships have bad times. You don't just give up and run away. You got to work harder. You got, if plan A doesn't work, you go to plan B, then to plan C. If you care about something, if you love something, you find ways. And yeah, there's turbulence sometimes and there's challenges, but to teach somebody to give up, in fact, I will use this, and I've used this phrase to a number of my players, and they know what it means when I will try to stop them and say, look, just play golf. Stop, just play golf. And that's not, I don't mean, I use it in the context of them, whether it's they're stressed out about work, whether they're stressed out about their studies, and I'll say, pause, slow down. I'll say, just play golf. Well, what do you mean? Listen, just play golf.
It's like one of those just keep it simple type of deals.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Focus on every shot. If you hit a bad shot, it's not what you just did, it's the next one. So these are the things. I'll be honest with you, Carlo. I am much more of a life golf coach leader, than I am. I can help teach skill sets. There's a lot of other great. Some of my golfers have been even better than me, but I just think you can learn so much from it. That's what I love about it.
Right.
And that's why, I am very opposed to the pre-mercy rule that some teams obviously
And
are
to the
a part of.
WPIAL's credit, and the ADs and the other head coaches, I mean, those guys were the exceptions to the rules. I mean, there were a lot
Yeah.
of people doubling down. Actually, McGuffey's coach reached out to me. McGuffey's having a tough year this year. They're 0-8. They were two players. You know, they do it by enrollment. They got into 3A by two players or two boy students. So they should probably be playing 2A, not 3A. They were playing
Yeah.
up against the 3A favorite Avonworth 2 weeks ago, and guess what? Late in the year, they're down on numbers. They had to start 5 different freshmen. They're already 0-7. They're going against the number 1 team in the state in 3A, and guess the score was 45-0. And they said, you know what? We gave it our all. We only got mercy rolled by a little bit, but they were so excited and so happy. It was like one of those kind of like moral victory type of
Sure.
deals. Because Avonworth Avonworth, for reference, beat Thomas Jefferson, who is the 4A reigning champion. They beat them by 42. So, I
Yeah.
mean, they've just been rolling over everybody. And they're like, hey, we only lost by 45. Our freshmen went in there. They weren't scared. We made a couple plays and we let up a couple plays. But I thought that was just so refreshing to hear,
Sure.
because all we heard for the last month or so was, oh, mercy roll here, hey, mercy over here, mercy over there. I mean, it was these are on AD letterheads going out to other ADs,
It's
and it
unreal.
and it was like nobody has seen it before. So
It's unreal.
and I want to give a shout out. I don't know if you saw this or not. I think you would love a story like this. The Avella Eagles were playing the Clarendon Bears. Clarendon was It was during their 63 game win streak. Avella did not want to cancel on Clarendon because they were in the midst of a historic championship or win streak, which ended up being the state record. Avella only had 10 players. Their head cheerleader buckled on a chin strap, played cornerback, and Clarendon ran away from her. They weren't really they weren't
Right.
going
Right.
out or anything. But Avella, their AD came out and said, we want to applaud Clarendon's sportsmanship for helping us when we were down. Obviously, Clarendon went on to roll them, but it ended up making the USA Today. It was like a national news story, and it's like those are the things we need to be highlighting. Those
Yeah,
are
no
the
doubt.
AD letters we need to be highlighting. Like, hey, thanks Clarendon for not for not going at the head cheerleader when they absolutely could have.
Sure.
But
Absolutely.
I think things like that is what makes high school sports great. And I think we wavered a little bit from it, but it was almost one of those rallying cries type of deal where it's like, no, we need to get back to Western Pennsylvania football. So I think there will be some good that comes of this. Now, going back to BeeMac, how do you recruit your talent at BeeMac? You guys have some open houses. How else can people get in touch with you there, Chuck? And
Yeah,
what
look,
exactly are you looking for in a sales
look, we're,
associate?
we're always looking for people. Look, we're looking for hunters, go-getters, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to those in sales, one of the reasons that we do this, just I don't know if I shared this in the past, but it's worth repeating if I have. One of our most successful brokers, in fact, right now, literally speaking, Carlo, our second highest earning broker in our company, I hired at the age of 18. He's
Really?
He's now 20. I think he's soon to be 20. No, I apologize. He just turned 21. Excuse me.
So he's like a young buck, like just
Yes.
absolutely rolling.
He had at the time, he had graduated from high school, where he went to high school, had graduated in May.
Mm-hmm.
And I had hired him. He was when I say hustling, like, he was doing a lot of sales. He was buying some merchandise and he was selling it. And he was a friend of a friend, a referral.
Yeah.
Reached out to this young man. And I before I interviewed him, Carlo, I was 18 years old, because he was an employee referral. Like, I would always give a nod, like, okay, I'm thinking I'll talk to this young man. I'll coach him. I'm thinking I'll never hire an 18-year-old. Somebody
Yeah.
doesn't have the experience. How would
Give
they
him
know?
some interview tips and move on.
Absolutely. I knew, like, that's where I would go. Carlo, I couldn't believe how well he interviewed. If he would have lied to me and said that he had at least graduated college now, by the way he carried himself, I would have believed him. He did look very young, but it's like, that's how well he had carried himself. And he was a young man who was like, I was so blown away and impressed. I thought, who am I to not give this young man a chance? And he is number 2 in sales in our company. And so that was kind of, in all my years of recruiting, that was kind of like an eye opener for me, because I do believe, especially now in our world, that where, you've got a lot of young people that are choosing not to go to college. You got a lot of people that are choosing, and sales is a place to go, that if you want to earn high income, if you want the opportunity to make, top dollar while, not having to get it out of a necessarily out of a degree, sales is the place to be. And that opportunity is there. So I feel like, our association, right, that we have together, I think there are definitely opportunities. And so we're always looking for people. And again, it's not just because, athletes play, but I know a lot of parents listen to this. I mean, whether you're earlier in your career, whether you're later in your career, sales to me is in here. And we're just looking for people that are naturally hungry, natural hunters. Being in the Pittsburgh area, we have 5 now domestic offices, but we've got Pittsburgh, PA, North Shore of Pittsburgh, and we have Beaver, PA. We've got 2 offices that cover a large area to cover a lot of communities where a lot of your listeners will be, living. And just think it's natural to say, hey, there's this opportunity that's out there. If you're hungry, you'll want the world of sales. Freight brokerages and brokering freight is not new. And it's a thriving, growing industry. Very quickly, I think as a company, we're a $500 million company with a path to $1 billion. So we're growing and need good people. But again, just getting back to answer your question, it's really wanting to help build our organization full of people that are hungry, that want a good opportunity to grow a book of business. And a lot of people may think you need prior experience or you have to have this and that. You just got to have it here. And most athletes, as an example, again, to use the analogy here with the athletics and sales, most athletes, as you know, why are the best athletes the best at what they do? Because of what they give. And in sales, no better place to get out of it what you put into it.
I couldn't agree more. Chuck, any last thoughts?
Listen, no, I appreciate you taking the time. As always, it's always nice to talk, not just
we will have
a little
BeeMac
shop.
link down below right here so you can visit them online. And you said you guys are going to have another open house here shortly. You guys have those.
We're going to have an open house. Yeah,
right?
We just had one, Carlo. We just had one, but we're going to have them each quarter. We just had one here for Q4 here in 22, and we'll have it. And Carlo, you and your viewers will be updated with that. But you don't have to wait for an open house. If anybody reaches out to us and even says, "Hey, I was listening to the WPIAL Insider. Can we check you out? Can I come look at the office, talk to somebody?" Carlo, we're happy to do that.
I love it. Chuck Koznowski at BeeMac Logistics and Robert Morris's head golf coach, which is very cool. Hey, how did you get into that? Speaking of which,
at RMU?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I went to RMU, so I'm alumni, class of '99. Years ago, one of my closest friends actually served a couple years as the golf coach. At the time, wasn't something I had a lot of interest in, and he had left the club. And it was a few years thereafter that I was interested, at a time in my life when it was something. Golf is my favorite sport, just to watch and to be a participant, and always loved it. And I just, really felt like one piece of my resume I wanted to help build was the coaching. And, it's funny because, it's like, if you want something, go out and get it.
Yeah,
I had reached out for several
years.
Well, I had reached out for several years to RMU because that's where I went to school. That's where I wanted to coach. And for a number of years, the intramural director would say, "Hey, no thanks. We don't need anybody. We're good. Semester. Until the coach that I spoke of, I told you, my friend, also graduated RMU same year I did, happens to get a at the time, current year RMU player caddying for him at Laurel Valley.
Oh,
So
yeah.
my buddy Juan calls me up and says, "Hey, are you still interested in a coaching position at RMU? One of the players caddied for me today, and he said they'd love to hear from you." And the connection was made. I went.
That's just a thing of fate, isn't it? That's unbelievable.
It was it. You know, sometimes look, if you want something, you go after it.
Yeah.
And you don't give up. You know, I told you, ring announcer in pro wrestling. My dream as a young boy, my dream was to announce in the WWE. And while I never announced in the WWE, I announced in pro wrestling. I was a pro wrestling promoter. So I've always been a big big proponent of if you want something, you know, no one can stop you from going out and getting it. So
that's so awesome. Well, Chuck, thanks for joining the show again. Looking forward to hearing back from you. Maybe we'll have you on for hoop season 2. Sound good?
Sounds great to me. Thanks, Carlo.
Sounds good. I'll see you, Chuck. Back with more WIPY Insider Show right after this.
Welcome back inside this edition of the WIPY Insider Show, presented to you by Edgar Snyder and Associates. That is Carlo Zovko. I am Matt Fargo. No Brad Everett. Still, we're waiting on him. He's still on the injured reserve list.
Bradley is getting better, healing
Yes.
up. We don't want to rush him. You know, he had major surgery.
Yeah.
Not easy.
Hasn't
And
been doing games.
he'll be back for
obviously.
hoop season. He'll be back for hoop
Looking
season.
forward to that.
But no, we
looking
miss our guy
forward to,
Brad.
Seeing you where you belong.
Yeah,
over there.
yeah, behind the camera. Yes, yes.
Getting
but we get Jake DeMichael back.
We do.
We
And
get Jake DeMichael
I mean,
back.
It
I'm
is
excited for hoops.
It is win or play basketball season.
Oh, yeah.
I meant to ask you this, not on the show, but I'm going to do it anyway because you're stopping me. For now, anyway. What did you think? I feel like you were like warming up to hoops. Not that you hadn't invested as much time.
No,
as
I loved hoops. I was very
feel like
excited
you
about
enjoyed
it.
it.
Yeah, it was a good time. You know, I grew up going to hoops games as well. Obviously, I was a football guy all the time.
No, you're a big Dukes hoops guy.
I'm a premium season ticket holder for Duquesne, which for somebody my age is.
Pick up that drop.
I mean, but I say this
Premium.
I say this because it's me and a bunch of like 70-year-olds up there, but I'm
going to tell Richie you said that.
I mean, I love
Richie
basketball
Chupka is
games.
also there.
Yeah. Chupka is. It's I don't know. I've always been a basketball guy. I enjoyed it. I just never really followed WPIAL hoops like I did last year. I was always an NCAA hoops guy, but yeah, it's a good time. I'm excited for the Hoops podcast to be back.
Me too. And excited. I don't know when that debut is, but coming soon.
Yeah, coming soon.
A device near you.
Yes.
All right. Back to football, back to winter play basketball season. It's kind of a great segue there because now we're looking at teams on the bubble.
On the bubble. These are the wild card picks. Now, these are wild cards. I get it. There's some scenarios where some of these teams will get into the playoffs. I did this as if everything is going to go chalk. Okay. So like I'm doing this thinking Shaler's not going to beat Pine Richland this week. You know, like I'm trying to keep it as simple
that would
as
be
possible.
the biggest upset in WPIAL history.
100%.
Yes.
But oddly enough, if Shaler beats Pine Richland, they're conference champs.
Yes.
With 4 wins. It would be freaking hilarious.
Yeah, but the right 4.
Correct. The right 4. Not to say that I'm rooting for a team or against a team, but it would be really cool to see Shaler just come out and win.
It would be kind of funny.
But so I'm doing this as if everything is going to be chalk this weekend, just to make it easier on us. So in 1A, there are 4 wild cards. Okay. Of that, you have Shenango, the Wildcats, Cornell, Fraser, Riverview, Avella, and Greensburg Central Catholic. Which 4 do you like there? Because it's not easy to pick here.
No, it's not.
And you have to wonder, like the Avella Eagles, 6-3, they're a Tri-County South team. Do you give the nod to the Tri-County South? They don't do anything in the playoffs really ever, which is odd. And I do have, and I agree. I don't think you do, but Greensburg Central Catholic only has 4 wins and they have to play Leechburg. What if Avella wins and Greensburg Central Catholic loses? You're going to take a 4-win team over a 7-win team?
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, give me Cornell. I think Cornell, if they
I would agree with Cornell.
win.
I think they're in regardless.
Do you think so?
I really do.
Okay.
And then who do they play is the question.
Monessen.
Oh, and Monessen's already in.
At Monessen.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Yes.
That could be fun.
Riverview.
Riverview, another team. They only have 2 conference wins. They only have 4 wins, but they have the heads-up win
Over
over Greensburg, and it's 26-7. It wasn't like it was a close call.
That's an easy one between GCC and
Riverview, right? That's 2 out of the 4.
Shenango
has
That
6
should be
wins.
in,
Maybe we'll probably get 7.
right?
And now you're down to Fraser, Avella, and Greensburg Central.
Frasers.
And Fraser just beat Greensburg Central Catholic.
Give me Fraser.
And I think you have to go in that situation, Fraser.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at this as of those 6 teams, Avella and Greensburg Central Catholic are kind of looking their way out. That's why I say Greensburg Central Catholic, it's win or play basketball this week.
Yes.
Because, you never want to put it in the hands of the WPIAL selection committee. Not to say that they don't do a great job, but just saying there's 6 teams, only 4 slots. They need to make decisions.
Yeah.
Moving on to 2A. There's 4 wild cards in 2A. It is between Olsh, South Park, Waynesburg, Freedom, and New Brighton. This one's easier. Which team is out of those 4? Only one does not make it.
Between
2A is kind of easy because there's so many no-win teams and one-win teams.
Waynesburg and New Brighton is the team out?
I would tend to agree with you. New Brighton's 5-4, but they're 2-4 in the conference, which is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Freedom is 4-5. Waynesburg is the one you circle. That conference is not good.
Yeah.
And I think I think you go Olsh, South Park.
I think those are your 2
easy
easy ones.
2 easy, they're in. And I think it's Freedom and New Brighton. As much as I hate to say that, because I like my Waynesburg guys, but they're 4-5, 2-3 in conference.
We only need one out.
You only need one out. But now they do have Stowe Rocks this week, which
For who?
should be a win. Waynesburg.
Yeah.
So that should get them to 5 wins.
Yeah, okay. And Freedom?
I think it's between Waynesburg and Freedom. New Brighton beat Freedom heads up, so I think New Brighton's in. So you have Olsh, South Park, and New Brighton in.
Yep.
Waynesburg or Freedom?
out.
Waynesburg out, I would agree. 3A, this one gets fun.
I like this role reversal we're doing here.
You like that?
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
Yeah, a little workshop.
Yeah, right.
3A, 3 teams get in 3A. 3 wild cards get in, and if it's between Burrell, Mount Pleasant, Hopewell, and Beaver. I had a guy ask me, he's like, what are the chances, I'm reading that Hopewell won't get in, yada, yada, yada. And it's like, yeah, well, Hopewell won't get in because they're going to land so far down on their conference. They won't get in clinched, but they're going to get a wild card.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting because as I had read it, that we have this game coming up, Hopewell North Catholic. And Hopewell is in clinched if they win by 6 or more.
Oh, so they can clinch.
Yes.
Okay.
With a Beaver
loss
to Avonworth, which
probably going to happen.
But didn't last year, just for the record.
Yeah.
That screwed everything up. Remember, 4-5 Central Valley 5-4 Central Valley got the 2 because of all that. So yeah, Hopewell can clinch with a 6-point win or more over North Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
North Catholic can clinch with a Beaver loss to Avonworth, and they can win or lose the game
by 4 and get in.
I'm like, how wild would it be if
that's
it's
a great storyline.
7-point game and North Catholic goes down and kicks a field goal, loses the game, and kicks Hopewell out?
That happened to Woody High one year. I think it was Cam Walters' freshman or sophomore year. They were down 6 going for the end zone. If they would have kicked a field goal, they would have had enough. Now, they didn't know the score of the other game. But if they would have kicked a field goal, they would have been in.
And how many wild cards are in at 3?
Of these 4, 3 get in, so 1 is out.
So I would say Hopewell's in either way.
Hopewell's in either way. Beaver's in either way.
I would agree with that. Then
Mount Pleasant
or Burrell.
This one is not easy, and I will say Mount Pleasant 5-4,
mm-hmm.
Burrell 3-6. I think you just give it to a team
Mount
with more
Pleasant.
wins. And, they're in the conference. I mean, they played Derry tight. They played Southmoreland pretty decent. I think Mount Pleasant, they have a really good, tough running back. I wouldn't want to see them. They lose close. They kind of stick around a little bit. But, yeah, I would say Burrell is on the outside looking in here.
I didn't even realize there was 3 wild cards in 3.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
4A, there's only 2 wild cards, and now we're getting fun.
Yeah, we are.
Now we're getting fun. It's Chartiers Valley. No, hold on. Not to give your pickup for the pick'em segment. We're just going to throw something against the wall.
Yeah.
Montour and West A, we have to pick a loser here real quick, just for the sake of the argument.
West A.
So West A is a loser. Okay, so now your 4A wildcard selections are, there's 2 wildcards, Chartiers Valley, Aliquippa, or West A. Which 2 you going with?
Chartiers Valley.
Sorry, Chartiers Valley?
Yep.
Are you aware that Chartiers Valley has a head-to-head win over West Allegheny?
And not earlier in the season. Early in the season.
Do you think the WPIAL selection committee will look at it like that?
I think they should.
I can't.
West A's played a lot better ball down the stretch than Chartiers Valley has.
I agree. And it all started when they only went to 1 quarterback. They were doing a 2 quarterback system. They go to 1 and start playing very, very well. But my question is, and maybe it's something I can ask Vince Ortino on the KDKA selection show. If you want to know the brackets, I will be on the selection show on the radio on Saturday, 1 to 3 p.m. Do you look at that loss, though? It was a 1-point overtime loss, and it was super early in the season, but I think it throws a wrench into that selection committee right there.
Sure. Absolutely throws a wrench, and I'm sure it's not going to be a unanimous one side or the other.
Right.
But you have to look. I mean, history tells you that the committee has often looked at a body of work, but put way more emphasis
On
down
the
the
now.
stretch.
Agreed. And for what it's worth, I would agree with you. I would say Aliquippa and West A get in.
And I also
Char Valley.
think it depends on how West A or Montour lose that game.
Right. Yeah, that's
If it's
a good point,
blowout
too.
one way or the other, that could swing them right back to Chartiers
That's a good
Valley.
point. Is there any way Aliquippa doesn't make it?
They lose to Ambridge.
Which
That's the only way.
yeah.
That's the only
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, so Aliquippa just got to take care of business,
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, 4A is an interesting one. Once again, only 8 teams make it, which I kind of like.
The way that it played out this year,
Yeah.
I think the good teams are going to get in.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be a really electric. I mean, there's a good chance that you could get a McKeesport Aliquippa first round game.
Oh, absolutely. And I do want to give a shout out to one team, and I do feel bad for this team. Bell Vernon. I mean, a couple close losses throughout the year. I mean, against Thomas Jefferson, they lost 14 to 10. Against Char Valley, they lose by 3. Against McKeesport, they lost by 13, but they were in the game. And, you know, they have talent. Curdy Wade is electrifying. I would love to see him in a winter play basketball situation. But it's one of those things. In 4A, there's only 8 that make it. And unfortunately, you have to stack wins. Yeah. Close losses don't really mean much. Okay, so we're in agreement on 4A. What about 5A? 3 wild cards. And this one's odd as well. Once again, this is if everything goes chalk this weekend. The wild cards, Bethel Park, South Fayette, Gateway, Kiski, Plum, or the loser of Shaler and Penn Hills.
You said 3?
3 get in.
Bethel Park, South Fayette, Gateway.
You think it's that simple?
Yeah.
I would agree there. I think
You were leading me down a path there.
There's a weird chance. Like Shaler, I think will get in regardless because of the Gardner point system.
Yeah.
But I don't think Penn Hills did enough to get a wild card. Kiski's intriguing. Plum, I love Matt Morgan and the Fighting Mustangs. I just think they left a little bit too much out there, a little bit too much meat on that bone. I think it's going to be Gateway. And Gateway's played with a lot of the top teams. Yeah. I wouldn't want to pull Gateway in the first round.
I mean, Gateway's kind of been that feast or famine type team this year.
They have a freshman quarterback. He's hot and cold.
Yeah.
But if you catch them on the wrong night, that Sean Moorfield, that Sean Moorfield is dynamic.
Yeah.
Could be a lot of fun, but I think it's safe to say Bethel and South Fayette, win or lose this week, they're in.
Yeah, and I mean, then again, South Fayette, could this be 4 in a row?
couple head scratchers there for South Fayette. But
And they don't have their quarterback for the year.
And I have heard Horsky is out. Do you think that plays a decision in the selection committee?
Probably not as much as I feel like the opposite of like getting a player back after having some losses.
I would agree. I would agree.
Because I can't. That's hard for a committee to be like, okay, this guy's out, so how good do we think they're going to be? You
Right.
don't know how good they're going to be,
Right.
But you could do the opposite.
I mean, a couple years ago, Florida State lost Jordan Travis, and that college football selection committee said, "Sorry,
Yep.
player injured." Just interesting. I do think South Fayette should get in. I think deservedly so. I think that they were good enough in the start of the season. I mean, they're playing in the toughest conference in the WPIAL.
Yeah, but you lose 4 in a row now. But
Not easy.
No, it's not.
easy.
It's
not
not
easy.
And really didn't hang with anybody in any of
No.
those games.
I mean, we're doing the Moon game. I hope to see them hang with Moon a little bit. Heck, I mean, Moon beat Upper St. Clair last week. You never know in high school football. So,
Well, that was fun.
yeah, that was fun. A little wild card selection.
All right. Well, you don't even need to play the games. Now we know who's in. All right. When we come back, we will catch up with our good friend Tom Poljak from Vertical Raise and Black Bear Fundraising. He'll hand out the player and coach of the week.
He got some great interviews.
I can't wait to see these. And then when we come back, it will be our time of the week to hand out our WIPY Awards of the final week of the regular season. And, of course, after that, pick segment, a breakdown of some of the top games across the WPIAL in the final week here on the WPIAL Insider Show, presented to you by Edgar Snyder and Associates. Stick around.
Back inside the WPIAL Insider Show, presented by Edgar Snyder and Associates, and of course our friends at Home Team Collections. We have our guy Tom Poljak back in action in the studio with us. Tom, I don't think I say it enough. I really do appreciate you always coming to the studio, going out to these high schools and going to get these awesome interviews. It really is much appreciative. And of course, we appreciate Black Bear Fundraising and Vertical Raise Pittsburgh as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of people seem to like it. It kind of breaks up the show a little bit, going out there and doing a couple interviews, and it's been fun. I've met really incredible people. It's been a fun ride, and also finally this week, 2 teams that I work with, and I'm glad they finally won. But I've met some coaches that I've never met before, and these young incredible men, young men that have won the Player of the Week award. They're we as older people. The future's bright. These kids are incredible. Our future. These are going to be our future leaders. Just incredible.
Some great kids, great interviews,
kids,
and I always like they're so grateful for it, and they always seem to give praise to somebody other than themselves in these interviews, which I think is really cool as well.
Yeah, just like we said, the common thread every week, just good-hearted people, and not one of these interviews I've done all year long have I come away saying, that person's a little arrogant or something like that. It's just been a total 100% positive experience, and it's been a lot of fun. And we're not done yet.
And that's what makes Western Pennsylvania high school football so great. Yeah, and we're not done yet. We did go to you went all the way out to Pine Richland. How was Coach Ladon after that trouncing of North Allegheny, which nobody saw coming? Like nobody saw this coming.
The Steeler High School Showcase game of the week, they had to be licking their chops when they were looking at that game.
Yeah.
Non-conference.
We had it on KDKA radio too. I mean, it was, we were excited for a nice game.
Pine Richland playing up. You're thinking, okay, this is going to be the matchup. Not so much.
No.
I mean, I think it, another game, another week that we were pretty much all shocked. I don't think anyone, if they said they were predicting this, they're not telling the truth.
No, and even last year, I can remember predicting Pine Richland by multiple touchdowns, and then NA came out and beat them, and I was like, oh man, that's just one of those things you never count out Art Walker, you never count out North Allegheny. In this year, I once again predicted multiple touchdowns for Pine Richland, but not like this. I mean, it was 50-0 at half. I mean, it was unprecedented in North Allegheny.
That's what I did comment to John. I'm saying forget about everything else. The thing that impressed me the most was the 50 points at halftime, because to do that to any team is incredible. To do that to a North Allegheny club,
yeah, that's different level.
That's different
That's
level.
different level.
It really is. I mean, it's not a team that's struggling or John did say that they had some key injuries and stuff like that, but that's 50 points.
Any takeaways from your interview with Coach Ladon?
Yeah, he's a beauty. I love him. he's a classic, and we'll play the video, and then we'll comment.
Let's cut to the video, then we'll debrief.
Welcome back, you football freaks. You know, if you can't get enough of football in Western Pennsylvania, you're at the right place, the WPIAL Insider Show. Each and every week, we give you the Coach and Player of the Week Award, and that's brought to you by Black Bear Fundraising and Vertical Race Pittsburgh. This week, we're at Pine Richland. Coach John Ladon, congratulations, man. What a great game, 67-0.
Yeah, we just got out early, executed, and did what we had to do.
You know, it was senior night. So that's tremendous. And you played up a class. And we're talking about North Allegheny here. We're not talking about some of these teams that are struggling to get players. What a signature win. And if you think about it, and the score is incredible, but over 50 points in the first half, to me, that's more impressive than anything.
Yeah, they were missing a player or two. And, we executed a game plan, created 3 turnovers inside their 15-yard line or so set us up for short, quick scores. And then I think a couple of our other plays that were touchdowns were short drives. So
okay, well, it's shaping up to be a good year. Tell us a little bit about the special team you got out here.
We came into the year with high expectations for our offense, a little bit of question mark on our defense, losing so many key guys. But the guys that we did have back, we had 1 or 2 on each level with Jay Timmons, Grant Pillar, and DeJour Webb and DeJean Webb. So, those guys picked everyone else up around them on the defense. And, we've been playing pretty good ball since week 2.
That's fantastic. Championships are no stranger to you. Penn Hills, you won a state championship, in 2018? And ever since you got here, I mean, you're picking up where you left off there. I mean, it's just incredible. And a lot of people don't realize this, you're four-sport athlete at Aliquippa, right?
Yeah, back then you just kind of went with whatever sport was in season.
Not like today. You got to pick one, and that's about it anymore.
There's a little more specialization now than there used to be back then.
Fantastic. Robert Morris, you had All-American there too?
Yeah, got to play 4 years under a great coaching staff with Coach Walton, Coach Radakovich, and Coach Banaszak. So blessed to be a part of that as well.
Yeah, that's tremendous. It's funny, a lot of people will say, hey, Coach, so what's he like? I said, well, when you say someone's like smart enough to be like a rocket scientist, well, like you kind of really are. You Navy Nuclear Lab over in West Mifflin there?
Yes, sir. Materials engineer over there, going on 14, 15 years now.
I love having fun with that, and I always enjoy spending time with you, and I appreciate it. Congratulations once again. Stay healthy.
Appreciate it.
Good luck through the playoffs. And once again, always the Player and Coach of the Week Award are brought to you by Black Bear Fundraising and Vertical Race Pittsburgh. Thanks for tuning in. All right,
appreciate it, brother.
Good deal.
Tom, the one thing I noticed in that video, he was wearing pants. He normally never wears pants, and on game days it's always shorts. Coach Ladon wearing pants.
Well, typical John. He's like, would you just get off the golf course wearing shorts? I said, I'm heading to TJ after this. I said, and if I show up in shorts, I kind of gave away the player. Spoiler alert. But I said, here you go. I said, Chirp's not going to be happy with me. So
I love it.
There you have it. But he is such an incredible guy. Very, very humble. If you met him in person, you would just say, like, I can't, it's no knock on him. It's like, I can't believe he's like the smartest guy in this stadium because he's just so down to earth and humble, and you're having a conversation, you're having fun, and it's just like talking to one of the guys, but truly an absolute genius.
Yeah, he really is a genius, and the way he builds programs, I still contest his best coaching job was taking over the Shaler Titans. They hadn't won a game in 4 years, and he goes 5-5 with Shaler. I thought that was one of his best coaching jobs ever, and I can remember when he got hired at Shaler, people were upset, and I said, "No, you guys have no idea about this man." And he just keeps getting better. He really does.
Yeah, I mean, a true athlete at Aliquippa, 4 sports, and then went to Robert Morris, All-American, 3-year defensive coach, defensive captain.
Yeah,
which I don't care on any
hard to
level.
do. Yeah,
no one does that. So obviously, when he was there, I mean, he was respected instantly. Just played for some incredible coaches there, like he mentioned, and just a good guy. And then when you back up, having total incredible football knowledge, and like I said, being one of the smartest guys anywhere, you could just tell he brings it all to the game.
And he's a nuclear scientist.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Like I said, unbelievable. I was teasing him. I said, like you're a rocket scientist, but you really are. I mean, it's like kind of true. And he just laughs. And I've been telling that story forever. That's one of my favorite ones. But anytime I'm around him or we're out and having fun, or if I'm out with him and all of his coaches, just a great time and a really good human being. If you ever get to meet him, and you're not going to sense at all like he's some kind of scientist. He's just such a down-to-earth guy.
Yeah.
You start talking football, start talking ball, he lights up, and it's his life. I mean, he loves it. And like you said, the community when he came into Pine Richland, and because you don't know, and he came in there, was instantly respected. Those kids that first year.
And they were on rocky waters, if you remember Pine Richland before he took over.
Everyone knows the story, the tragic story, in my opinion. And we don't have to rehash it because I mean, everyone's gone their own ways, and that's good. I mean, Eric's doing great over at Mars. And I'm so happy and proud for him as well. But those parents were on edge.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they were, because coming in, it was like, they were even leaning on me like, hey, let's bridge this, or let's, these kids need some help.
Yeah.
Because their lives were pretty much shattered, and they could not have made a better hire.
I would
agree.
agree.
John Ledon. I mean, it was he walked in there, stabilized everything immediately. Those kids respected him. They were hungry. They were looking for that guy, and he was the guy. And he cured a lot of broken hearts on that football team and that community.
No doubt about that.
And lessened the blow, and that's a great attribute to him.
Yeah, so we'll see how Pine does in the WPIAL and hopefully the state playoffs if they can make it there. It's not gonna be easy getting out of 5A and WPIAL.
When you look at the skill on that team,
oh yeah, they're sick. They're sick. Yeah, they got to at least be the betting favorite in 5A.
Yeah, but there's going to be some fun games, I think.
Oh yeah. I'm not counting out Peters Township or Moon or Upper St. Clair or Woody High or Penn Trafford. I mean, it's 5A is a gauntlet. 5A is a gauntlet. Now, moving on to the player of the week in this one.
Spoiler alert.
This one is fun. Spoiler alert. We kind of hinted at it. It's Thomas Jefferson junior running back, Tyler Eber, 340 yards, 4 touchdowns. This is a guy I rated number 2 preseason running back, next to Kamon Spell at McKeesport.
But you can't predict a team that's dinged up.
No.
Injuries. I mean, you can't. That's a great pick.
Yeah.
He was the rushing leader.
He was the rushing leader last year. And I was kind of looking back through my notes this year saying, Eber, I mean, he's still going to be top 5, if not, or top 10, if not top 5, but I don't know if he'll be number 2. And then, I, of course, picked against Thomas Jefferson last week like an idiot. And then all of a sudden, Tyler Eber, 340 yards, 4 touchdowns later, I said, that's why he was my number 2 running back right there. Things finally come together. And let me tell you, a Thomas Jefferson team in late October and early November, always dangerous. And they seem to be on the mend. Yeah, they're finally getting healthy. And all of a sudden, Mr. Insider starting to scratch his head and saying, maybe TJ is the favorite again. I'm not too sure here, Tom.
I was probably about 30, 40 yards away from them. Those are some big boys.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some studs out there. And if Chirp gets the team healthy, and then they're healthy going into the playoffs, they're going to be the team to beat, I think.
Well, I mean, everybody's crowning McKeesport as the team to beat right now, and for good reason. They're firing on all cylinders. But I mean, Thomas Jefferson beat McKeesport this year. Let's not forget that, So 4A is going to be absolutely electric. It's going to be interesting to see who even gets in the dance in 4A.
That is true, because it's always that mystery till the end. And that's why, like, I always close my interviews by saying, stay healthy and best of luck, because that's so true.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of these teams, they're not that deep. They might have a lot of players, but in certain positions, they're not recruiting. So it's you have what you have, and sometimes you're a little weak in certain areas. The better coaches, the great true coaches, they adjust and they adapt and come up with a scheme to match that. And when you have an offensive line like TJ does, getting healthier, you have a running back like that,
you can take out
scary.
anybody.
Yeah, that's
well,
scary.
let's check out Tyler's interview here, one of my favorite interviews of the year. Let's check it out right now.
Welcome back, everyone. Tom Poljak with you again. And each and every week, we give you the Player and the Coach of the Week award, brought to us by Black Bear Fundraising and Vertical Raise Pittsburgh. Tyler Eber, congratulations, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You are coming off a very big game in Char Valley. And I know for me personally, this is awesome because I live in Thomas Jefferson. So glad to be here. I've been rooting for you all year long. Came close a couple of weeks. You're having big games all year long. Last year, you led the WPIAL in rushing as a sophomore, and surprisingly, you're just a junior. So, I mean, that's just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been an honor to play here. Just, my O-line obviously up front, and, coach just giving me the ball in my hands and me being able to make a play.
Well, obviously you have one of the greatest coaches in WPIAL history with Bill Chirpek, a.k.a. Chirp. What's it like playing on his team? I mean, how's that feel?
Yeah, it's something special. He's a hard worker, and he portrays that, and it shows throughout our team. He pushes us, and he pushes us to be the best, and I feel it's shown.
Absolutely. So, with that game you just had, you had almost 335 yards on 40 carries with 4 touchdowns, and you also had a 90-yarder. Tell us about that 90-yarder against Char Valley.
Yeah, it's a simple trap concept straight up the middle. That credit all got to go to my O-line. They created an open gap, and I just had to hit the afterburners and make sure I finished the playoff.
Now, speaking of your O-line, you guys are getting healthier. A lot of people are saying, TJ's a little down this year. You guys just been dinged up, just been having some bad luck, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say, we obviously lost more games than we would have wanted to, and that happens, but as of right now, I couldn't be more confident in this team. I never lost confidence in this team, and, we're just going to keep playing to our best ability and hopefully repeat that WIPY championship.
Yeah, when you're dinged up, you just got the next man up.
Yeah.
But from what I've heard, the whole team's getting healthier as a whole.
Yeah. I mean, we got a ton of guys coming back ready for playoffs. One more week, and then the majority of our team should be back.
Absolutely, that's perfect. And in TJ form, Chirp always has that running back and linebacker combination where you go both ways. You're being compared to some of the all-time greats in Thomas Jefferson history, and you're already just a junior, so that's got to be a great feeling. And from what I heard, you're taking on more of a leadership role, and that's tremendous as a junior.
Yeah, I mean, it just means the world to me. I started playing football as a young kid in 6th grade. I ball boyed on the sideline here since I was in 6th grade, and I mean, just being able to be a contributor and be, compared to some of these great guys in this community, this means the world to me, because this team means the world to me.
Absolutely. Now, anyone you want to thank or give a shout out to out there?
Yeah, obviously my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, my coach Ed Weitholder, who passed away going into my sophomore year.
I graduated with him. He was a good guy. Man.
Yeah, he meant the world to me. He was one of the first people to ever believe in me. So he meant the world to me, and obviously my O-line.
Yeah, you got that O-line. You got some big guys out there. I'm looking out over your shoulder.
Yeah,
you got a big line. That's fun running behind that big line.
Yeah.
All right, congratulations once again.
You. Appreciate it.
And always remember, the Player and Coach of the Week award is brought to you by Black Bear Fundraising and Vertical Raise Pittsburgh. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you. Awesome.
Tom, one of my favorite parts of that interview was him giving a shout out to his strength coach, Ed Weitholder. Rest in peace, Ed. He's done remarkable things for athletes among the WPIAL. Just really cool for Tyler to give him some props as well.
I graduated with Ed Weitholder in 84 in Baldwin High School. Even I wasn't real close with him in high school, but we knew each other and we were friendly to each other. He was everyone's friend. He
Mm-hmm.
was a good guy and just one of the true good guys. And what he's done, not only for football players, but the female volleyball players and everyone, basketball players that went to him for strengthening and conditioning, just did a great job with all of them. And a true testament to him, called him his coach.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
and he absolutely is missed. He did some awesome things. Ed followed the Twitter account. He was another friend of mine as well. So it was really awesome to see Tyler, give him props. And how about how great of a kid and player Tyler is? I mean, just a stand up dude you want to root for.
I was excited when Chirp saw me, came over. He and I have been friends for 25 years. He said, "Have you ever met him?" I said, "No." I said, "I've been rooting for him all year." He goes, "Just an awesome kid." And you could just see the excitement.
And we get a whole nother year of him. So hopefully, maybe he'll have another plaque or two, but in his man cave at the end of his career.
Yeah, and it's true to Chirp, that running back, linebacker, when he gets that stud, I mean, he's not shy.
He rides that horse. Yeah,
he
rides that horse.
And talk about riding it. He's just gonna this kid wants the ball, and he's going to keep giving it to him.
I mean, he was getting it like 30, 40 times last year as a sophomore. I mean, I can imagine what they're going to do this year.
He might get it 40, 50 times in the playoffs.
I love it. So special thanks to Coach Ladon and Tyler for allowing us to come out and give them interviews. Tom, now something I want to bring up here.
Yes, sir.
As playoff season is upon us, with Vertical Raise and Black Bear Fundraising, you can do some playoff fundraising, correct?
Absolutely. TJ Plack last year, he did the donation platform earlier in the year. He said, "Hey, I don't know what happened. We're running out of funds pretty quick." We launched at right before the playoffs. For he raised like another 10 or 12 grand.
So something to think about for these teams out here as you're gearing up for a playoff run. Hey, you're going to need nutrition. You're going to need Gatorades, waters, transportation,
buses,
all that. Buses.
I mean, it's just keeps adding up. And a lot of the booster groups out there, God bless them, they forget about, they just budget till the end of the year. And then all of a sudden you have playoffs and you're like, oh my gosh, we need thousands of dollars. So Vince DeVivo, Vinny works up north of Pittsburgh. I work south of Pittsburgh. If you guys need some help, I'm with you 100% of the time. I do everything for you.
Links are all down below right here to contact Vinny or Tom here.
And we can bust it out. No more. I can get you guys going in 20 minutes. 20 minutes with your team.
Quick turnaround.
Just 20 minutes meeting with the team, explaining everything we need to do, and then you just watch the magic happen. And it really is magical. And like I said, we have the most secure donation platform in the country, bar none, not even close.
Well, thanks again for going out to get the interviews, Tom. Looking forward to seeing you back here next week to crown another Coach and Player of the Week.
That's right, and we may as well keep it going for the playoffs.
Absolutely, we'll keep it going for the playoffs. We'll be right back with more WIPY Insider Show right after this.
Some moments on the field go beyond the game. They shape who we become. At Home Team Collections, we honor those moments with the care and craftsmanship they deserve. Because these moments aren't just memories, they're a legacy worth preserving. Any team, any sport, any logo. Visit HomeTeamCollections.com today and save $10 off your first order.
spend your life on the field, in the gym, or on the court, you know what it means to be part of a team, to push for a goal, and to chase a win. What if you could take that same drive and turn it into a high-paying career? BeeMac Logistics is looking for people just like you for their Beaver and North Shore Pittsburgh office locations. BeeMac is a top 100 freight brokerage in the U.S., and they know what the best athletes make to make the best sales professionals. Why? Because you're already wired for success. You're competitive, you know how to work with a team, and you're not afraid of rolling up your sleeves and putting in that hard work to get the ultimate reward. At BeeMac Logistics, you'll join a high-energy team as an inside sales representative. It doesn't matter if you're fresh out of high school, college, or already have some experience. BeeMac Logistics will give you the training and the support you need to succeed. If you have that natural hunger to win, you could be earning a six-figure salary within the first 15 to 18 months. Ready to take your competitive spirit to the next game, to the next rewarding career? Join the swarm at BeeMac Logistics and apply today. Thanks for BeeMac Logistics for sponsoring the WPIAL Insider Show.
Players, are you lacking confidence or feeling nervous when it's time to perform? Struggling to stay focused under pressure? Coaches, are you feeling overwhelmed and stressed? Battling decision fatigue as the season heats up? Does this sound like you? Don't leave your mental game to chance this season. At Edge 90, we've teamed up with WPIAL Insider this season to bring you mental skills training that will give you the edge when it counts. Whether you're a player looking to boost your confidence and composure, or a coach aiming to sharpen your team's mental resilience and deal with stress, they have the tools you need. Their services include team workshops, which will strengthen team culture and build a mental skill set together. One-on-one training, that's personalized sessions to elevate your mental game. They even have virtual courses. Convenient training you can access anytime, anywhere. Use my promo code Mr. Insider for 10% off any service. Visit edge90.com to learn more and follow them on social media at VT_edge90. They have free tips. Ask Vince any question you want on social media. Don't just play the game, prepare. Hit that follow button. That's at VTD_edge90.
Black Bear Fundraising, in partnership with Vertical Raise Donation Platform, is proud to sponsor the WPIAL Insider Show, Player and Coach of the Week Award. For over 25 years, we've been helping teams and groups raise the funds they need. From our premium discount cards to the Vertical Raise online platform, we've helped hundreds of programs raise millions of dollars. And just this year, we worked with Peters Township Football, helping them raise over $55,000 for their program. If you're looking for the best fundraising solution in the tri-state area, reach out to us today. Black Bear Fundraising and Vertical Raise Pittsburgh, the official fundraising partners of the WPIAL Insider Show.
Welcome back inside the WPIAL Insider Show, presented to you by Edgar Snyder and Associates. Thanks to Tom Poljak, great as always, and they really were good. Some good interviews.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Tyler Eber. So, and of course, the doctor, Coach Ladon, was a great one. Although it was the Uno reverse card. Tom was wearing shorts. Ladon was not.
Yeah,
so little Uno reverse there.
It is always weird in basketball season to see Chirpak with pants on.
Yeah,
It's different. What's going on here? And who gets talked more about what they wear on their lower half, Ladon or Chirp?
It's a point of emphasis.
This time of year.
Point of emphasis.
All right, Whippy time. We'll hand out our Whippy. Want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. My WIPY Award, the Field of Dreams. This goes to the best field in the WPIAL this year. Best landscaping, best grounds crew. And it's the Ligonier Valley Rams. Oh. Their field, their lines, their paint, the black and red and white, it looked beautiful. I know the team wasn't that great this year, but the grounds crew always made sure that they were
nice.
They were looking good, looking sharp. So, I appreciate that kind of stuff. Like when you put care and effort into things, I think they deserve some praise.
We were kind of thinking on the same wavelength for our WIPY Awards.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I had mine first, I think.
Yeah, probably. I'm going to go with the Unsung Hero Award, and that goes to all of you, the stats people, the chain gang, the equipment managers, concession stand workers, parking and ticket attendants whatever you do to make high school football in Western Pennsylvania great, thank you, because without you, it doesn't happen the way that everybody wants it to and go so smoothly. It takes a village in every corner of the WPIAL. And you know what? It's so cool for what we do is get to see it in different places. You all see it in maybe your home stadium and maybe a couple away trips every year, but I get to see it in so many different places, as do you, Carlo.
Yeah.
And what's so cool is it's a lot similar most places you go. You got somebody who's cooking up some huluski.
It's unbelievable. I love WPIAL concession stands. Paul Alexander and I, we always hit it every single time, and we always ask for pretty much whatever the special is.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, as this regular season winds down, I wanted to just throw out an appreciation to so many of you that go underappreciated, but the games wouldn't happen if, I appreciate when chain crews are on their game.
Yes.
Like, that's such an underrated part of the game that makes my broadcast of the game sound better when the chain crews are doing what they're supposed to do.
No doubt. And it takes a village, and a lot of them are just kind of volunteers or whatever it may be. So, yeah, I mean, that's what makes high school football so great. No.
Except on this show. Man. It's going to be here.
Yeah.
Can't wait for the new table, though.
Coming shortly.
For Brad's return. All right, pick'em time. Oh, how did we do last week, Carlo?
Last week, for the first time this season, Mr. Fargo finally got a W. Barely. Matt, 8-2. Brad, myself, and the public, all 7-3. Island picks. A little bit cold on the island. I was 0-1. I had the golly, what am I doing going against Bill Chirpak? I had Char Valley over TJ, only lost by 40-some points. Brad went 1-2, so 2 losses for Brad, significant there for us. And you went 1-1 on the islands. Not terrible, but got you a game back. Overall, Brad is still in the lead, 68-23. I am right behind him, nipping at his heels, 67-24. And all of a sudden, here comes Matt Fargo, 65-26. The public, you guys are 66-25. So between Brad and Matt, you are in the basement, but it's 3 games.
Yeah.
I'm 1 game behind Brad. Public's 2 games behind Brad. You're 3. So anybody's race. Anybody's race.
And we pick every game in the playoffs.
That's where you can make it count.
It's really playing out perfectly.
And I'll tell you this, I had to get it in my head. I am a massive fan. I don't understand why on my highlight show, I love doing Tri-County South games. I love the Tri-County South. And I have to remember in my head, hey, Tri-County South's not any good in the playoff. I can't be taking Bentworth and Jefferson Morgan to go to the semis, And I might. I mean, there's a part of me that I'm Ben Hayes can do this at Bentworth. He can do it. So I just have to be careful with my picks.
Tread carefully, my friend.
Tread carefully, yes.
This unsurmountable lead all of a sudden speaking a different tune. All right, Mount Lebanon at Norwin. This becomes quite interesting, actually. There's some playoff implications.
Crazy. I mean, it's win or go home for Mount Lebanon, and I think Norwin. I think if Norwin loses, I think they go from 3 to out.
That could be correct, yes.
So
there are only 4 teams that go to 6.
Yeah, only 4. I started it with Tristan Tavares. I'm ending it with Tristan Tavares. Give me Norwin.
Yeah, it would have been really nice to be right about this game last week.
Oh, yeah, you had Ken and Mac last week.
And
almost happened. Almost happened.
But not enough. All right, we both go the night. Bradley?
Brad went Norwin as well. Not much
right.
faith in Lebo Town. Lebo played pretty well with NA as well.
Yeah. Woody High, W-O-O-D-Y.
Woody High.
I'm rolling with the Wolverines over Kiski area.
Yeah. I don't love this game being on here. I'm Woody High. Brad's also Woody High. Yeah. I mean, it might be Woody High.
What is he doing? He's just
just
throwing darts at a dartboard.
Yeah, this is crazy. Yeah, this is crazy.
What did he think was going to happen?
Yeah, it's a clean sweep.
All right, Montour.
But sometimes with clean sweeps, though, if there's a major upset, you can kind of pinpoint hey, this
right. You proved us wrong.
And that's happened a couple times this year.
Probably more than it ever has.
Yeah, more than it ever has.
Montour, the Spartans at Joe P. DiMichela Stadium in Imperial against the West Allegheny Indians.
I hate this game.
I don't. Montour.
I'm going Montour as well. I think they're firing on all cylinders.
Brandon Bennett
throws that ball down the hash. My God, he's sick.
Yeah.
He's sick. Archie Collins as well. Brad is also going Montour.
West Day also beat Aliquippa, right?
West Day, and they beat Newcastle. They beat Newcastle. I mean, I wouldn't put it past West Day. This could be one where we come back and say, we were all wrong on this, but I'm going Montour.
He's going Montour too?
Yeah.
How about it? On the road too. In a Parkway conference that is absolutely jammed. Those scenarios, West Day clinches a share of the conference championship and the top seed out of the conference if they were to beat Montour. Newcastle clinches a share with a win at Blackhawk. If West Day were to lose to Montour, they would be the top team. Montour clinches a share of the conference, beating West Day. Spartans could be the top seed if Newcastle were to lose to Blackhawk, and Aliquippa can finish in third with a win against Ambridge and a Montour win against West
my
Day.
head's in a pretzel here.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I
Get
totally
all that?
understood the Parkway logjam there.
It is.
We're all
Fort
going
Pitt
Montour.
Tunnel rush hour traffic.
Yes, it
Parkway
is.
There. Yeah, we're all going Montour. Freeport Yellow Jackets at Amani Christian
For the conference.
and I would be shocked if this one isn't a clean sweep either. Give me the Saints.
Yeah, give me the Saints as well, and Brad is also going
Shocking.
Saints.
What is Brad doing? Brad's just going to pick all games that we obviously pick.
Yeah, so that he stays the lead. I agree. Yeah, that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing.
Steel Valley at South Allegheny. The Ironmen take on the South Allegheny Gladiators.
South Allegheny is cooking with the cooks.
Yes.
Coach Brian Hansen, most underrated coach in the WPIAL. Give me the Gladiators. This is going to be their first conference championship in how long? It's going to be like 40 years, I think.
Yes, ish.
Give me the Gladiators.
I agree with you.
Are they undefeated? Yeah, they're undefeated too.
Yes, they are.
So, yeah, big regular season.
South Allegheny.
So,
Glads.
clean sweep there.
Shocking, not shocking. We continue. Wash High, the Little Prexies at Seton LaSalle. The Rebels hosting the Prexies at Dormont Stadium.
I seen Seton LaSalle's. They're another team. I mean, this is a collision course between Seton and South Allegheny.
No doubt.
I don't think anybody's even close. I think the loser of this game will be the 3 seed.
I agree.
And winner will probably be 1 or 2, obviously. But I think it's going to be the 1 and 2 anyway. I think it's going to be South Allegheny Seton in the finals. I'm going Seton LaSalle here.
Me too. Give me the Rebels.
Give Brad the Rebels.
Oh, there's a surprise.
Yeah, here we go.
This is really riveting stuff here.
Well, maybe this one we change.
All right. Elwood City at Beaver Falls. It's all good in Elwood.
I almost want to go Beaver Falls just to go against.
Please.
But I'm not
Good.
doing
No,
that. I'm
good.
not
It
doing
worked out
that.
for you last week.
No, give me Elwood City and give Brad Elwood City.
Oh,
as
my
well.
God. This is unbelievable. What an anticlimactic ending to the regular season.
That just means the playoffs will be spicy.
Oh, my goodness. I should have looked at this sooner. Neshannock, the Lancers, are at Laurel. Lancers, Spartans. Oh, this should be a clean sweep, too.
And I don't know, because I like Neshannock. Neshannock's let me down a couple times.
Yes, they
though.
have.
They let me down. I'm going to go Laurel, especially because Laurel, we all picked Laurel over Southside.
And they delivered.
They delivered. Southside went up.
Yes.
And then Laurel just came raving back.
Laurel, I think, is a sleeper.
I've been saying this since like week 2.
No, you haven't.
I said there's only one team you can put in the Fort Cherry Clarendon, and it was Laurel. And then they immediately lost. And I said, well, never mind there. And then they've been cooking everybody since.
Well, that's because you said never mind.
I know. I jinxed them.
Yep.
Give me the Spartans.
Yeah, Spartans and
Brad got the Spartans, too.
shocking. California at Jefferson Morgan. I have a funny feeling what's going to happen here.
Both have one loss. I think this is close.
Okay. Brad?
Brad went Jefferson Morgan.
Oh,
You're not going Jefferson Morgan.
I don't know. What are you going with?
Wow. I am going Cal. And I'll tell you why after you pick.
I am also going Cal.
Is Deacon DeHoot playing?
Is he?
I don't know.
Me either.
He didn't play 2 weeks ago, and I don't know if he played last week, which is why they lost to Bentworth.
That would explain it.
Yes, that's why they got killed by Bentworth, actually.
Yes.
And he's the whole cog of that team, but if he's a little banged up, I'm going Cal.
Well, I was going Cal because of the loss to Bentworth, but I didn't know that information.
Yeah, he did not play.
Yes.
I mean, I didn't double check this week.
Well,
probably should have done that.
Probably.
But give me Cal.
Or
I mean, even regardless, Cal Jefferson Morgan is always a good matchup.
Yes.
Like and Landon Abercrombie, Noah Lehue, I have no problem picking them even if DeHoot plays.
Sure. But you didn't.
But no, I did pick Cal.
Oh, yeah.
Brad picked J-Mo. Brad loves J-Mo.
He does.
He does.
He went down there.
He went down there. He saw the Rocket.
Yeah, he was like loving the coach.
Yeah. Brad's a big J-Mo
All right.
guy.
Well, finally, we differed. That was the first one.
And Brad's on the island of all
Yes.
people. This is a big matchup then.
Yes. All right. Game of the week. Steelers High School Showcase Game of the week. We didn't even have the game that, I guess that the game you're going to, we would have clean sweep too.
Yeah, that would have been a clean sweep, which is Moon and South Fayette.
All right, Steelers High School Showcase. You, the fans, over 630,000 votes.
That's nuts.
Holy cow,
That's
guys!
Nuts.
And somehow
is that all just high school kids in the computer lab just sending that all around?
You know,
like,
I did flashback to like when I could like set up a, I forget what you call it, like a loop.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called. There's a technical term for it. Again, didn't go to college. And just refresh the players' votes, refresh the players' votes, refresh the players' votes. And I mean, to the Steelers' credit, I guess you could have done that, but there were still 630,000.
Yeah, I mean, people cared enough to do it 600,000 times.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But we land at North Catholic at Hopewell, which I was very excited about because of the what's at stake, which we talked a little bit about earlier in terms of Hopewell can clinch with a win 6 points or more. North Catholic wins if they win or they lose the game by 5 or less. But as you've stated, both teams are probably still in with a wild card.
Yeah, both will be in with the wild card.
Even whoever's out. But, I mean, there's still a lot to play for. Great quarterback matchup here. Joey Felitsky and James Boo Boo Armstrong.
Boo Boo's been cooking. James Felitsky's been cooking.
Joey.
I was thinking James Armstrong.
Louis Armstrong.
Joey Felitsky's
in
been
the
cooking.
Saints.
Yeah.
James.
Who are you taking?
Oh, that was convenient.
I'll tell you who Brad's taking.
Okay.
Brad's taking the Vikings of Hopewell.
I am too.
Are you?
Yes.
Oh, I thought we were going to put Brad on the island. I'm going North Catholic here.
Okay.
I think they get a big rebound. I've been saying Hopewell's a year away. I wouldn't want to play Hopewell in the playoffs.
I think this game's a coin flip, and them being at home helps. And I think we're in for a track meet.
We're absolutely in for a track meet.
I want a 51-50 again.
I just think North Catholic has one too many seniors is what it is.
Okay.
And knowing that, hey, and I know that they're probably going to get on a wild card, but those kids, they need to get in now, they don't want to deal with the wild card. So I'm going.
And then
the
you get the wild card. Who are you going to get matched up against?
Right. Yeah. I mean, you want to go up against Imani round one or
right.
It wouldn't be or Elizabeth Forward.
Sure.
Sounds terrible.
Right. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good matchup though.
All right, so I'm on an island. Brad's on an island.
No islands.
No island. 2 total islands.
Yeah.
Man, clean swept 8 of them.
But that could be
We had a lot of islands last week.
We did. But that could be the 2 that I need. If you guys are both wrong.
Yeah, right back. Yeah, right back.
Back in it for
Hopefully
the postseason.
the islands are hot.
Nope. I think they're going to be cold islands.
Maybe.
Good luck to all the teams. As always, he forgets every week. Let me.
Early, sorry.
For Carlos Ofco, Brad Everett is not here, but he's here with us always in spirit.
In spirit.
I'm Matt Fargo saying thanks so much for watching this edition of the WPIAL Insider Show. And until next week, when it is officially
win
or play basketball, make sure you're always keeping your receipts. Good night, everybody.